BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for everything sports betting. Every stat, matchup, breakdown, even live odds and spreads to bet on during games. With the largest catalog of odds on everything from football, MLB playoffs, NHL, NBA to political props. When the game's over, head on over to our online casino and get in on a game of blackjack or poker or unwind with over 150 slot games. Head to the website today to get on the action with America's most trusted site for online wagering. Bet online. The game starts here.
Boogie like Benson, I'm a who that. I'm a who that. Long as I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. Sports Coma, yeah, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Boogie like Benson, I'm a who that. I'm a who that. Sports Coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Somebody please better help. Running this thing like elf. I thank God every day I'm not a felt. Go to YouTube live with Big Q and the guys. If you ain't ride or die, the bandwagon get flipped. Been marching in, that was way for the ring. I was yelling out your shame for the championship. Bucking on Tampa, duck down. Falcons, pluck, get shut down. Panthers ain't much touchdown. The vision really belong to us now. So much hate on the Saints, you could probably tell. Ever since Bounty Gate hit the NFL, when things seem fishy and you probably smell the crooked referees on Roger Goodell. Yeah, probably like this and I'm a who that. Every day I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. It's the Sports Coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Boogie like this and I'm a who that. It's the Sports Coma, this is where we do that.
You're listening to the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys on the PRO Media Network.
That ultimately ended up being one of really special qualities. At the end of the day, though, part of it has to do with where we are as a franchise. You know, we're not in a situation where we have to have wholesale changes in order to get, to be successful. And so we felt like it was important that the institutional knowledge, someone that had been part of this process, that ultimately ended up being one of the difference makers. And look, again, I mentioned a few moments ago about, Dennis had a 6.5 hour interview, but he's really been interviewing for 12 of the last 16 years. And so I think we just knew more about what we were getting, exactly what we were getting, and what we're getting is pretty magnificent.
What kind of growth did you
Shock, just based on, if you just told me that that's what occurred in the game, I'd be like, man, what the hell happened? How did we lose that? Now, does that come to coaching? I mean, because you have those things that you think that definitely that's a winning formula to win, but you got to close the deal. Like, okay, you look at the Chiefs. They might be winning ugly, but they close out the games. And then we've been in situations in the Eagles and the Chiefs. The Eagles needed a touchdown. We couldn't close them out. We played good defense. And then you look at too many times, and even Atlanta, not being able to close out games. But just looking what occurred then and what we did as far as taking away the football, are you getting like a special teams touchdown? Come on, you can't afford to lose those games because that could be the difference whether you get to double-digit wins or not.
Yeah, I think what you're getting at here is that then you want to get your team to the point where you expect to win, because when you expect to win and you have those things that can happen that don't go your way. They're just little speed bumps that you cruise right over, right? Because you have confidence and you have a lot of players that believe they're going to make a big play, when it counts. And when you hope to win, and I think most teams are in that position of where they hope to win, those speed bumps become little mountains. And so we have, our goal is obviously to get to the point where we're expecting to win. And I felt like, and we were moving that direction after the first 2 or 3 weeks, right? And then, we've had some adversity. We've had, like I said, we've had a lot of injuries, a lot of guys missing that are key players, playmakers for us. And, we weren't able to close out those 2 games, Atlanta and Philadelphia. So we got to get back to that. We know we have a good team. We know we do. And we're confident in that. But we have to weather this storm and weather these weeks where we're not at full strength, and we have to find a way to be competitive, and find ways to win games. And again, that starts with not beating ourselves, right? Getting back to fundamentals. We got to coach better. We got to play better, and I believe we will.
Well, Mickey, where I don't know if he's going to work out his tackle, but we think he can be the starting offensive lineman. Might have to play guard. I know back in the day, like Jim Dombrowski, first-round draft pick from Virginia, that never really worked out his tackle, was an outstanding guard. And so could that happen?
Yeah, I think with any offensive lineman, and there's some other positions, he gets hurt, he misses 10 games. We play him. I think a lot of that falls on us in terms of, where he was and what he was ready to do. And so I'm still pretty high on Trevor Penning. I think we all are, but we recognize that, hey, look, we've got to do a better job in terms of development and preparing him to be ready. And I think we'll do that this offseason. I think we'll have a good plan for him.
And was the decision to bring Dennis back a fairly easy one? Also, like how much of the finishing 4-1?
Yeah. Look, here's what I think. I think sometimes, the easy thing to do, the lazy thing to do is look at the results of a season and say, it's the coach's fault or it's the quarterback's fault. I think oftentimes you have to look beyond that. I was prepared for this question, right? Chuck.
Y'all don't remember he said, look beyond the results in that interview, did you? You thought he made that shit up when he talked to Bobby Hebert? He said it in this interview too. So, I mean, he been saying it, man. You got to look beyond the results. Yeah, well, hold on now. Well, hold on. Yeah, clam chowder. Let's go. Let's finish this up.
Oftentimes you have to look beyond that. I was prepared for this question, right? Chuck Noll, his first 3 years, Hall of Fame coach. He was 1-13, 5-9, 6-8. But they recognize that this guy's a good football coach, right? Bill Belichick, here's his first 3 seasons: 6-10, 7-9, 7-9. Tom Landry, 0-11, 4-9, 5-8, 4-10, 5-8. Hall of Fame coaches, all of them. Bill Walsh, first year, 2-14, second year, 6-10. So I think the easy thing to do is just look at the results and say, oh no, we've got to have a change. You got to look beyond that. What are the reasons why we were 9-8 instead of, 13-4? And look, it's collective. It's the players, it's the coaches, it's me. It's
the players first, then him last. Oh, the players are first. Oh, okay. All right. Continue there, Mickey.
Personnel staff, our roster, it's variables sometimes that we don't have any control of. And so my assessment is Dennis Allen is a good coach.
It's a good coach. All right. There you go. That's Mickey Loomis saying what he says, man. And here's what some of the family members said after he said this shit.
Susie and Kurt, that's right. I spoke with the Saints fan Ryan Hancock this afternoon, and he says he's raising money to pay for a billboard calling on the Saints to fire Dennis Allen. Frustration has grown to new levels among Saints fans following yet another season missing the playoffs, and many are calling for the firing of head coach Dennis Allen, including Ryan Hancock. In an attempt to make sure the fans were heard, Hancock and a friend began raising funds through GoFundMe on January 8th for a Fire Dennis Allen billboard that would be placed on Earhart Boulevard.
When you are angry about something, you do everything in your power to demand change. If you know.
Come on, brother. Round of applause for this brother. Come on. He hitting it, man.
Bang! Bang! It's good.
Bro, he ain't lying. That brother speaking truth to power, man. Come on, brother Ryan. Come on.
Apathy means that you don't care. Anger means that you do care.
In just a couple of days.
Come on, brother. You heard that? Did you hear that, baby? We've been trying, and that's some of the things I try to get some of the family members to come up out of this fan mindset. Come on up out of that, man. Start rubbing them brain cells together, man. This is disrespectful these people are putting on in front of you. This disrespect. And this brother, you heard what he said some good shit.
Fund me on January 8th for a Fire Dennis Allen billboard that would be placed on Earhart Boulevard.
When you are angry about something, you do everything in your power to demand change. If you know, apathy means that you don't care. Anger means that you do care.
In just a couple of days, the billboard nearly reached its goal, and Hancock began to put the plan in motion. That's when he says the advertising company decided to raise its price to an unachievable amount.
All of a sudden, it went from the money that the amount that we raised, because we had the money raised within like 2 days. It went from that to another amount. And we were like, screw it, we'll just give everyone back their money.
Shortly after, though, an anonymous donor got in touch with him and said he is going to fully fund a new billboard project with Lattimore Advertising this time.
They decided to come along and do it. And I can't thank that Money Fairy enough. You know, many kudos to the Money Fairy. You know, I didn't know there was Money Fairies in New Orleans. I didn't.
And while Hancock says there may be more speed bumps ahead, he will stop at nothing to get his message across to the Saints organization.
Talk, boy! Let's go. That's what I'm talking about, man, at the end of the day, man. And that's just a little brief montage of just a reminder to the Who Dat Nation of what we're dealing with. We've been dealing with this character for a while. I've been at this guy, dropping science, doing my exposing on Slick Mickey, just letting you know what time it is. And I have to applaud the Who Dat Nation, man, for representing. We on target. Shout out to you guys, man. And, you know, like I said, we started the broadcast. Welcome, welcome, welcome. You're now rocking with the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys, where you have intense, entertaining, educating, and enlightening sport talk from your favorite sports fam. Bam, big ups. Thank y'all for being in this Monday stream after a very disappointing Sunday afternoon. Big ups to you guys, man, for being in this stream, man. Listen, all I can say is that was 100% truth what the brother said. Now, by the way, that article or that piece that I just played for you guys, that happened I think it was last year. I think it was termed. This article came out 9 months ago. This whole piece here with the brother with the billboard. Nothing never came up of it, because later on the Saints, a lot of people, there was some energy or power at work that prevented this billboard from happening. You get me? Because that billboard, what he was saying is right near the Saints headquarters. It goes over an overpass for some people that might be familiar with that area. There is a railroad track that runs behind the Saints facility. It's train yards back there. That some of that is from my history. I come from the conductor background. So that billboard is right over the overpass that goes over the train tracks where Hickory is. And that billboard sits right there. So it's right near as you can get to the facility. It covers a lot of eyeballs and everything. So anybody, it'd have been an embarrassment for the Saints. So many people believe the Saints were the ones that prevented that from happening. So they know, the point is, they know your disgust. They know you're disgusted, but their money, and like I showed family members yesterday on the recap stream, when we went over the hierarchy of the Saints organization, they're set up to make money. They don't have to give a damn. I mean, the highest person in the Saints facility, even if you go on their website, they give you the hierarchy. They got Gail up here. They got Dennis Lauscher right there. They got Mickey Loomis there. And then a bunch of guys, 4 or 5 people that don't have nothing to do with football on the field. He the highest one up there. And they put all decisions in Mickey Loomis's hands. Even though it don't even factor in that Mickey Loomis is maybe too old for the current NFL model. Doesn't even factor in. You know why? Because they're making so much money. Why change it? We're making money, man. Why change it? That's why you need to change it. Who that's? When this is something you study your damn history and understand, this is something that goes on everywhere. When they have people that you fund and you give this like 20 something years of golden success, the Saints have had like 15 plus years of sellouts, of ticket sales and being backed up, waiting lists to get to Saints tickets for 15, 20 something odd years. And they've sat there and they became extravagantly wealthier than they've ever been at any point. They've become extravagantly wealthy to the point where their influence was able to get buildings, properties, and all this stuff. They don't even get taxed. They architect sweetheart deals and avoid paying taxes. Why you think these people, the richest people in the state, are the second richest behind Graves, the chicken man from Raising Cane? You think it is? If your ass didn't have to pay some of the stuff that they didn't have to pay, you'll see more of your money too. But we often look at these wealthy people like they got the key to the city. They got some genes that the regular folks don't have. No, they know the loopholes and they have the money to manipulate to get through the loopholes you can't reach. That's game. At the end of the day, it's a power struggle. And the power struggle is between that of the Saints and you. That's right, little old you. Little old you with your money, your hard-earned money. Your hard-earned money where you got in your hand like this and you need to ball it up and put it back in your goddamn pocket and stand on business. That's what this is, a power struggle. And I played Mickey Loomis with his eyes bucking, talking shit, refusing to let you know. Look at this madman right here. Look at him. Look at this mad fool right here. Hold on now. God damn it. Dennis Allen, bring your ass here right now. Yes, Mickey. Oh, hold on now. I'm going to tell you. God damn it, Dennis. This is six straight games losing. Oh, God damn it. They're mad. And hold on. I'm going to have to fire somebody. I don't want to fire you. Call the janitor in here. We'll get rid of him. And I played this interview and I showed you that he mentioned the players when he says many different things going wrong. In this interview, this was at the end of last season when his face was flush. He was chewing gum nastily and actually drinking water or whatever it is. You don't drink water with gum. That washes the flavor out of the gum. So he had a nasty mess of crap in his mouth, which was really annoying and unprofessional for him to do that. But he does what he wants to do in that organization. They don't tell him shit, but they will if you get involved. They don't pay attention until they look in the money books and look into that account and see that money going down, them tickets dropping. Oh my God, we losing money. What's wrong? Then you got to make a move. That's when shit start popping. You don't think Gail's out there circulating? She know there's people upset what's going on with the Saints, but she ain't quite upset enough to go and do something about it. She only steps in when it's dire. Lauscher don't do shit. Okay, Lauscher is a glorified a treasurer. He's an accountant, a bookkeeper. He's in mob terms, old schooly mob terms. Y'all remember some of the old gangsters from back in the day? I mean, during the Prohibition gangsters, like Frank Nitti and Al Capone. Well, one of Capone's book guys that cooked the books like Slick Mickey, his name was Jake Greasy Thumb Gusick. That's who this character is. Greasy Thumb, because he knew how to cook the books. He'll give you a good pair of clean books so you can launder money and get away with it. You can hide all the stuff from the girls and the dope houses and the shakedowns. In the lottery, all the number rackets that they were getting, by all that stuff, you can hide it behind your chain of laundromats. A Greasy Thumb Goosick. Look him up. This is real people here. Greasy Thumb will cook you some books. He give you some books that'll fool them. You could be having you could be a chain. You can own a chain of laundromats and have the girls and the dope and everything, the numbers, everything going on. You got it all going on. But anyway, that's what's popping, man. In there, man, just playing this maniac right here. And this is why this article, well, this show is basically about this. If you look in the chat, you can notice that there's a poll up there, and credit to the 100 plus some odd people that voted. The question is, who's responsible for the Saints losing ways? There are 4 people or 4 items for your choosing in the poll. Please vote. Number 1 is Dennis Allen. Number 2 is Mickey Loomis. Number 3 is Gail Benson. And number 4 are the Saints players. Which, oddly enough, I played these things here, and I've played these before, but put them together where you can see it's a culmination of foolishness. I brought it in when he hired them, and he talked about how they went through a hiring process. And I've been high. Well, we took 8 hours, 6 hours to interview Dennis Allen. And we've actually been interviewing him for 12 years. I wanted y'all to hear that. How you get it so terribly wrong? Because he wasn't doing this by his mind. He was listening to Sean Payton. Sean Payton told him who to hire, and this dude did a whole orchestrated hiring process before getting to Dennis Allen. This is real talk, real spill. It also leads us into this, which is an article right here. Now, this is something that I've talked about before. Put one in the chat if you heard any of stuff like this that I've been saying over the last couple of years. Put one in the chat if you heard this. This is shout out to Nick Underhill. Some of the Saints leaders feel the details have gone to the wayside. That would infer that Dennis Allen has lost his team. It's not the first time Dennis Allen lost control of this team. He's lost it several times during his tenure. Details have gone to the wayside. Details. And I thought we were supposed detail centered. What happened to the accountability that Dennis Allen was talking about early in the season? We can talk, you can talk that talk, but when it's time to walk that walk, it's a different energy. You can talk it all you want, baby, but when it's time to walk it, let's see how real you are then. That's real spill as well. Saints leaders feel details have gone to the wayside and want to take matters into their own hand. If this was a goddamn ship, that would be called a mutiny. Take things in their own hands. That would be called a mutiny. If you were the captain and the head coach is the captain of his ship or his team, and the crew would say they're going, the details going to the wayside and they want to take matters in their own hand. That usually means that they take over the ship and throw everybody, the captain and whoever's loyal to them, into the drink so the alligators can get with them. This is it's crazy, man. And they said it will take an open conversation about the real problems and what could be done to fix it because they're sick of being, quote, losers, end quote. What we were fretting about, all it took was 6 straight losing games for us to do. Listen, fam, can we be, let's talk real. Can we be real here for a second? Like we always real here. So what I'm saying, let's be more real, if that's a thing. Y'all remember this? Put one in the chat if you've heard me talk about where are all the player only meetings. How many times have you heard me say that? How long have I been saying that? Where are all the player only meetings? I was saying it in the first year. It's a standard that we're supposed to uphold here. If we're about winning, it's a standard. There's a floor and there's the ceiling. There's a floor. You don't go below the floor. Even Elvin mentioned that. That's why he was upset. That's why Michael Thomas, they attacked Michael Thomas. When Michael Thomas was talking out about things that was going on with the team, and they called him a diva, and some of the media people attacked Michael Thomas. We defended him on the show. They did the same thing with Marshon Lattimore and Mickey Loomis, this raving lunatic character right here, reworked his contract to try to trade him last year. Y'all remember that? With all that was going on, all because he was upset about the direction of the team. Elvin also was upset, which some think that's why it took so long for him to get his contract going, because remember what he said in that interview? We played it before here. But how many times have you guys heard me talk about this? Look, all the ones in the chat. How many times I was asking, where are the player only meetings? So in the third year, it took 6 straight losing games for them to be calling themselves losers. It should have never got here. If we're a winning organization, this should have been stopped, and player only meetings should have been held after 3-game losing streak, if that. It takes 6 games. Think about what I'm saying here. If we're a winning organization, and these guys on this team who are they said team leaders, Nick Underhill's talking about team leaders. Team leaders feel. Who the team leaders are? Demario Davis, Cam Jordan, Elvin Kamara, right? Put them in the chat. Who are the team leaders? We know who was saying it and getting in trouble saying. We know Laddie Dad almost got traded because he was saying, he was talking about the non-accountability stuff that was going on last year. And even Jameis, when he was here, talked about how Dennis Allen lied to him and pretty much backstab him. That's my words. He said he lied to him, told him that when he gets healthy, he can have his job back. Dennis Allen kept Andy Dalton in there the rest of the year. We called that out. But you have to think about where you are with a team when it took 6 straight losing games before the team said, we got to do a players only meeting. Well, la di effing da. How about that? All it took was 6 straight losing games for them to call a players only meeting to get it straight, because they tired of being losers. So you wasn't feeling like you was a loser when you was losing 5 of them, or when you was losing 4, or even 3. But it just took 6 games to say, oh, we just some losers. Get what I'm saying here. Get what I'm saying here. Look what I'm saying here. So now Nick Underhill reporting now, oh, we finally get some player only meetings now. And we sit up here, what, 2-6 right now? You're in the hole. You are in the hole, and Atlanta sitting up there doing what they're doing. They're sitting on top of the division. Saints in the hole. And Dennis Allen's not the type of coach to get from up under the hole. But as long as you got this maniac doing what he's doing, and they're not checking him, you know what you got to do. I'm good to hear a lot of people starting to get it about the economic boycotts. An economic boycotts work. It controls things. It can literally shut down Fortune 500 companies if you do it correctly. If there is a list of people or companies that you want to say that you can cancel, and really that's on you, and you just go back into history and look some of them up. Some of the worst companies that ever was still moving around making products. And if they're tearing stuff up, or they going into stuff that hurts the people in terms of policies and all this kind of stuff, stop buying their shit. Put them on a little list, share a consumer report. Y'all get disciplined. Let's stop this. Simple as that. And economic boycotts work. They work for the civil rights movement. Sure did. When the bus people was talking all that crazy shit, and so were those diner people talking crazy. Me personally, I would say, you know what? Y'all can do that. Listen, let me go over here. I'll make one. That's me. I'm going to just create. I'm a creator. So I'm just going to make something and say, hey, y'all come on over here. You know, I ain't the dude to beat the shit out the gatekeeper to get in the house that they built. I build my own and say, hey, y'all don't have to go over there. Come on over here. And you become not the gatekeeper of anything, but you have to, because they gatekeeping information, pretending like it's something that you don't deserve or you can't have because you're not worthy of it. Casting pearls to swine, that type of thing. But that's what I'm saying. The right mentality we need to have here. And these boycotts work. Stand on code. Like I said, civil rights organizations shut the bus company almost down and told them, hey, we'll sell it to you. It was like, oh no, it was so effective that it forced all this little craze. And they're like, well, hey, y'all go, you can sit wherever you want. Hey, you can drive the damn bus if you want to. Man, listen, man. Same thing with some of them restaurants. When you stop going in there, them restaurants start losing, turning up money, them doors. Like I said, man, it's a way to do stuff. You don't even have to beat up nobody. You don't have to go and start throwing lead around. You don't have to do none of that. Boycotts work. Just be smart with the money. This is disrespectful. It's time to check these people, man. I've been saying this for years. And I'm finally glad that some of the rest of the people are understanding what this is. This is disrespectful, man. Don't you understand what disrespect is? When people talk to you or they just ignore your commentary. So I'm like, oh, that's how you want to play it? Guess what? I abstained from this period. I withdraw my energy from this, and I withdraw my power, which is money. My money is power, and I know that it's the lifeblood of your organization. And without my money, you can't thrive. So that's what this is. So you know what you need to do. Stop going down there. I keep saying the same thing to the people with the signs and sending up the guy with the SOS sign and the people, this type of stuff. And I tell them the same thing I told them when I was on the show the other day. Stop. Don't come here on signs talking about SOS. Stay your goddamn ass from down there. Because people telling you the truth. You ain't solving nothing by going down there, and they keep throwing this bullshit in your face. Keep your smelly ass from down there. That's what I say. I'm getting all old manish on them. Keep your ass from down there. What's wrong with you? You know, that kind of stuff, because it's silly. We got to start thinking, man. People don't understand when they're getting disrespected. This is disrespectful. But the players finally get it, right? Credit to the players. It took them a long ass time, but they finally said, let's do some. Fam, listen, I've been saying that for a couple of years now about where the player only meetings at. I didn't know it would take 6 straight losing games for them to start calling player only meetings. I was in my head, got tired of calling it. I was like, in my head, after the 3rd loss, I was like, where the player only meetings at? 6 straight losses for them people to get up off their ass and say, we tired of being losers. So you wasn't a loser at 5 or 4, but it took 6 for you to feel that way. Think about that. Think about how terrible that is, man. That's not a winning mentality. That's not at all. That's not at all a winning mentality. So it is definitely, and Nick Underhill ain't on some bullshit. He's real deal inside. He telling you the real spill. He ain't like that Sham Charania dude with all that bullshit he be throwing out there. Like he was talking about Zion's going to get traded for Scoot Henderson and all that bullshit so he can get airtime. But in terms of this guy is a good insider. He gives you some good game. And if that is indeed the case, they're taking matters into their own hands. That means that they're leaderless insofar as a coach. A coach is supposed to lead the team. So the team going to lead the team now? Where that work at? This is more proof for this idiot here to, when they saying this kind of stuff, this moron's supposed to be getting that guy up out of here. But he's such a emotional jackass. And nobody's going to tell me how to run my team. Oh, this is my team. I'm going to tell you. This is my goddamn team. You're not going to tell me. I'll tell your ass something. You know, bucko. I'll tell your ass something. That's what I'll tell you. It's my goddamn team. I'm not going to listen to you. Yeah, okay. Watch it. You listen. Don't listen to us. Listen to the treasurer. When he bring them pages around there and have you take a look at how that money going down, you're going to want to listen then. These hard-headed people, you got to teach them. Hard head make a soft ass. That's what my mama told me. Anyway, New Orleans Saints are the 2nd worst team in the NFC. Did you get that, baby? Did you get that? Shout out to Darian Gray out at the Saints Wire. The New Orleans Saints are the 2nd worst team in the NFC. By what do you mean, sir? Well, let's investigate this article right here. They say, quote, numbers don't lie, end quote. Well, here are a couple of numbers about the Saints season thus far. Number 2, the New Orleans Saints have the 2nd worst record in the NFC. The only team with a worse record is the Carolina Panthers, who we play this upcoming week. The Saints defeated them in week 1. Clint Kubiak seemed to revive Kamara in the running game. Derek Carr was flourishing in play action dominant system. Maybe they can recapture some magic against the Panthers this upcoming week. 6. The New Orleans Saints-led squad has suffered consecutive defeats for a month and a half. Spencer Rattler was at the helm for half of the games, and Carr was responsible for the other half. The losses started close, but the Saints have been outclassed since week number 4. 2. This is the amount of wins the Saints have. Nothing to explain here. It's just been so long. It was nice to reflect on the good times that were cut way too short. 6. This is where the Saints are currently drafted prior to Monday night's game. Staying close to the top 5 should bring lengthy conversations about drafting a first-round quarterback and possibly trading up for one. The Saints are another quiet litter tonight. Oh my goodness. The Saints are currently drafting. They're 6. This is where the Saints are currently sitting in the draft order right now. Things are bad in New Orleans. The offense has been lifeless since week number 2. Other than first half against Atlanta, the energy has been drained from the family base. And the season can be summed up with 2 numbers. That's 2 and 6. Ironically, that's the Saints record. The Saints season could be that was pretty good. Shout out to Darian Gray. Let me give you a shout out. You got a sense of humor, brother. You got a sense of humor. You got a sense of humor. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed, man. Listen, man. It's very interesting, man, fam, to talk about it, man. The Saints are the second worst team in the NFC. The first worst team is the Panthers. Oh, my goodness. And Derek Carr is supposed to be coming back for the Carolina game. So, you know. Hey, listen, man. I'm gonna play a little bit of Dennis Allen, man. I'm gonna play a little bit of Dennis right now, man. But it simply is what it is, fam. Currently, right now, the Saints right now on mutiny stage. Where's Mickey? Now let me ask y'all a question. Where's Mickey Loomis at here? I mean, in terms of this whole debacle going on with the team saying they about to hold player-only meetings. Where's Mickey at? This is the question I'm asking. He's the general manager of the team, right? Where is he at in this whole situation with Dennis Allen obviously out of control of the boat right now? The team talking about they taking things to their own hands. Where's Mickey Loomis? Where is he at right now? Can somebody tell me where he is right now? How is he impacting the situation? Is he trying to smooth out the wrinkles? What is Mickey Loomis doing to fix this 6-game losing streak? The answer is not a damn thing. But spinning bullshit to you and telling you, well, you got to look beyond the results. And y'all thought that was something new. That's why I broke out this interview with him right here when he said it twice. I don't know if y'all remember. That's why I had to bring it back. I said, fam, that ain't nothing new what he told Abel. He told him that in this interview. He said you got to look beyond the results twice in this interview. But we missed a lot of it and simply didn't remember it because of all the other BS that was going on when he compared Dennis Allen to all these other people. I wonder if he still feels the same way. Dennis Allen, Bill Walsh, 1-11, 5-9, 6-8, 12-2. Yeah. I don't think that's gonna go like that, Mickey. This dude crazy. He compared that man to Hall of Fame coaches. You should look at this guy. This guy need to be locked away somewhere. Look at him. Look at his face. Look at him. He's a madman. I'm gonna beat somebody's ass. So I'm just saying, man. At the end of the day, man, this is the problem right here. You look at it's almost 200 people voted on the poll today, and it's a tight link. Man, look how close the poll is right now. Almost 200 people. And it's Dennis Allen and Mickey Loomis 44%, Dennis Allen 43%, in terms of who's responsible for the Saints losing ways. Mickey Loomis' slight edge over Dennis Allen. I think y'all headed in the right direction, though. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed, man. But anyway, man, listen, man, I don't know if I want to play Dennis Allen, man. He did an interview today, but I'm going to play him because it's some stuff he was saying in there, man. Of course, I'm going to put the speed game on there. You know how I do. To speed it up. I don't like he kind of bores me at times, but maybe I should keep it slow because I think coming up real soon, these last few pressers, that might be the end of him coming up real soon. Because even if they be able to beat Carolina, we'll see what they can do against Atlanta and a revamped Cleveland team led by Jameis Winston coming back to the Dome. So it'll be very interesting of what happens with the Saints over the next 3 games. Now, usually for a normal person, one that's not flush face and looking like this, it could be an easy decision to make when your coach is in the 3rd year. You've extended him all of the proper platitudes and room that you possibly can extend him. And this team is currently on the 6-game slide, 2-6, second worst team in the NFC. That could be good enough for a normal person to say, you know what, bro, I didn't give you enough time. Let me put you in the street right now. And say it ain't about saving face, it's about making the right decision. The problem with this guy is he's emotional. He will not admit that he made a bad decision until it is too late because he is not a leader. He's not a person that should have the general manager job. It was all Peyton. All that success came by way of Peyton. This man was nothing but an expensive gopher. And he's like, damn, Q, for real. And most people don't, they think they got Mickey up here. Well, you got to drop him down here because Peyton is the reason why he was up there. Because Peyton told him who to hire, who to get. He did. And it's proof obvious over the last 3 years that he can't even pick a coach. He didn't pick this coach. He listened to Sean Payton. Payton says Dennis Allen should be the coach, and Dennis Allen was the coach. Is that ironic or not? It wasn't an accident. So he performed a sham ass research looking up for coaches, and ultimately turned around and hired the man that he was going to give the job to anyway. Now the guy has the job. The guy is not we know he's not a good coach at all. He's not a head coach. He's a defensive coordinator, and the man is over his head. But instead of pulling the trigger to save the season, it's my team. My team. Mine. That's Mickey Loomis. So anyway, this is Dennis Allen. Look, and by the way, look at Dennis Allen's body language. Look at him. He's just getting up to the podium and he's looking like this. This is not the type of body language that you're supposed to have if you're the head coach of a team that's lost 6 in a row. You have to not show this type of energy or this look. Look at this dude. This is a dead man walking. What I mean by that is this is a lame duck dude. He doesn't have control. He doesn't have the facility, or he doesn't have the capabilities to pull this team out of a 6-game, out of a hole like this. He doesn't have it. It takes intestinal fortitude. It takes an extreme amount of emotional, like motivative energy to pull your team up, and they have to see it in you. It ain't just about talking it, but you have to also accept. You have to really accept. No, some say believe. I say you got to know. You got to know that you're gonna do it, and when you know that, you say it, and they see it. They see it and like, yeah, and they'll buy into it because that's how most professional athletes are trained. They go by what the coach say. And if the coach got an impeccable resume or a coach that is about his business, they'll buy into it like, man, let's ride with him. You get the team leaders, you get the team in many times. But this guy, look how he steps to the podium. Is this guy going to bring you out of anything? Bring you back into 500 ball? We shall see. That's what makes this very interesting and fun at the same time, doesn't it? Well, let's hear from Dennis Allen, man, and see what he's going to be talking about here, because we shall see whether or not he can do this or not, man. And I'm going to vote on the side of him not being able to do it. I'm just going to keep it all the way funky with you. But anyway, my goodness. We shall see. Here we go. Here's the
All right, guys. You go back and you look at the
hold on here, fam. Let me move it around a little bit.
game, and sometimes it's hard to see the forest through the trees, but there were some good things that were done in the game. I thought we improved in terms of our run defense overall. The quarterback had the 138-yard scramble that we can't allow to get out of there, but when they handed the ball to the runner, they basically averaged about 3 yards per carry. So I thought the run defense was better. I thought our defensive line overall played better in the game. I think Pete Warner helps our defense out a lot just in terms of, alignment assignment, things of that nature. The things that, we have to improve on is we got to eliminate, the explosive plays. Those have been something that's hurt us throughout the season. So we've got to do a better job of eliminating those things. We got to make some plays when we have some opportunities to make some plays. There's a couple of sack opportunities that I think, we had one potentially get a safety there towards the end of the game. Another one where we let the quarterback get out. I thought there was a couple times where we had opportunities to get the ball out of the quarterback's hand in the pocket, which could have been big plays in the game. And then, obviously the dropped interception there by Pete down on the goal line. I mean, those are just a handful of plays that, we got to be able to make those plays when we get those opportunities offensively. We actually did some good things. I thought we ran the ball better in the game. I think we averaged 5.5 yards a carry or something like that running the football. So I thought that was better in the game. We had, 15, 10+ yard plays in the game, which is the most that we've had in any game this season. So there were some good things. The issue that we've got to get corrected is we've got to be more consistent. We do some good things, and then like offensively, we'll move the ball. And then as we get to that midfield area, we'll have, some penalties and things that are going to knock us out and knock us into longer yardage situations. And we're not able to overcome those right now. So the consistency in our play, the details in our play, I think those are the areas that we've got to continue to work to improve on.
So Alvin, after the game, into the details, it's like what you said. I mean, who's that on? Is that on the players, coaches?
Well, I think it's a combination. I think us as coaches, we got to be more detail oriented in terms of what we're teaching, how we're wanting guys to do things, holding guys accountable to doing those things, the little things the right way. And then it's incumbent upon the players to focus in on those details and be able to execute those details. So I think it's a combination of things. Yeah.
Yeah. We see these penalties, especially the pre-snap penalties. Is that something you're saying in practice and it's just carrying over to the game? Or?
No. In particular in this last game, we had one pre-snap, false start penalty where, we got a little messed up on the cadence. Everybody kind of got off on the cadence and the center was a little late with the snap. That was the one pre-snap penalty. I think the bigger issue for us really kind of boils down to the technique in our blocking. We're getting our hands outside the framework way too much. And I think that's an area that we've got to improve on. That's where some of those holding calls came from.
What's your reaction to a lot of criticism that Nathan Shepard has been giving over the personal foul on Justin Herbert?
Yeah, I think it's not accurate. Here's a guy that's trying to wrap the quarterback up. He's on the ground. He has no idea whether the quarterback has the ball or not. He's just trying to bring the quarterback down to the ground. So there was nothing malicious about that play. It's a guy that's trying to make a play. I went back and looked at that play again after, seeing the comments, and I don't agree with that.
Look, man. I did the play-by-play, and when Nate Shepard did that, I said, "What is Nate Shepard doing, man?" Because he grabbed his leg and he twisted. And that's why the offensive lineman got pissed, and the offensive lineman was right for jumping on him like that. Because I would want my lineman to do that for my quarterback if the defensive player did that. That was a dirty play. And I went back and looked at the play. I don't know what Dennis Allen talking about. But that was, to me, a dirty play. He tried to twist Herbert's leg. And Herbert seen it, and that big offensive lineman seen it, and he jumped on his ass for that. Because I seen her like, what is Nate Shepard doing, man? Because you could tell because it didn't look right. You don't turn and twist the man's leg like that. You wouldn't want nobody to do that to your big ass. So, I mean, I don't agree about that. And his offensive lineman commentary about getting the hands outside the framework, the Saints did run the ball better in the game, but it didn't translate to anything. You know, they did put up 100-something yards in the game, but it didn't translate to anything. It didn't translate to the Saints moving the ball in a way where it generated points. They were running the ball here, there, but the drives failed. Like they could not complete drives. That was the crazy part about it. They couldn't complete any drives. And even crazier part about it is you can't sit up here and talk about the injury monster or talk about the fact that they're tired because they played 3 games in 10 days when they had a mini bye and an extended period of time to plan for said Charger club who played on last Monday. So they were on a short week. The Saints was on a long week, but the Saints still put up only 8 points, 2 field goals, and a safety. So they scored 10 against Denver and 8 against the Chargers. Make it make sense. It doesn't make any sense for them not to be able to have 100-something odd yards rushing the ball on the ground, but can't translate that into play action where they can consistently move the ball downfield to set up an opportunity to do anything. And besides, the Saints was horrible on third down. The reason why the drives failed is because the Saints could not convert on third down. Because somebody tell me what it was. Matter of fact, I'll pull it up. It's like 1 for 13 or some dumbness like that. I don't know, you know. Well, we got to be consistent. Yeah, no shit, Sherlock. I mean, the bottom line is the Saints were horrible on the money down. They were 2 of 16, people. That's unbelievable that you had a mini bye and the best you can do. And I said the Chargers had a good defense, but my goodness, 2 for 16 on third down. And come on. There you go. The money down, you couldn't convert. And the 2 times you did, what led you to field goals? Oh, my goodness, man. Take a look. Take a look. It's in a book. Man, look at that. If you care. This is crazy, man. What the hell am I pointing at? What the hell? What's going on with this crazy thing? All right, there we go. It was stuck. Look at that. 2 for 16 on third. It's 2 for 16 on money down. Oh, yes, indeed. Look at this guy's face right here, man. Look at his face after he said that. This dude looked like he about to cry, man. Dude. Look at his face. This is not good, man. He looks like a possum that somebody stole their food already. Like another possum just stole his food, and he's just like, "I'm the eat my food, man."
Now go on. You take care of the cake. You possum puss, get that punch out there. You'll get one from me. Go on.
Any updates on some of the injured guys?
Well, I guess probably 2 updates. You know, Bub Means has a high ankle sprain, so that's going to be a time missed injury. I'm not sure, exactly what the, we had, Lattimore with a hamstring, Kendre with a hamstring. Not sure exactly what that's going to be yet. Derek Carr had a throwing session again today. Looked good in the throwing session. I would expect him to be back out at practice on Wednesday, and then we'll go from there and see, what his availability is for this week. But I'm optimistic about it.
Is Juwan Johnson in concussion protocol? I believe he was being checked for a concussion.
I think, anytime you're checked during the game, you have to come back in today, and but it's not the typical protocol, where they're out and they have to go through multiple steps. He was asymptomatic today when he came in, so he's cleared and good to go.
All right, that's going to be the end of dinner salad. But, it's just the offense was so bad. 2 of 16, I want to say. That's horrible, man. 2 of 16 on third down conversions tell you everything you need to know. The Saints also had a bunch of penalties in this game. They had 7 penalties for 66 yards in the game. So if you have 7 penalties for 66 yards and you go, 2 for 16 on third downs, I don't expect you to really to do anything. They didn't have any turnovers. Like he said, he dropped the P. Warner dropped the interception that could have stopped the field goal or whatever it was. and it just what it was. And then I remember a moment in the game, and y'all kind of go back in y'all collective and remember this moment in the game. I think it was somewhere in the second half, maybe in the fourth quarter, the camera panned to Joe Woods. Put one in the chat if y'all remember the camera panning to Joe Woods, and Joe Woods was just looking straight at the camera, but he wasn't looking at the camera. And he was just standing there looking mesmerized at the fact that how the Saints defense. Put one in the chat if y'all remember that. All I remember when I seen it, I was like, I seen Joe. I never seen Joe Woods look like that. Look, all the one. I never seen Joe Woods look like that. He was sitting there looking like, oh my God. He was like, right. Y'all remember that? And he was standing out, and all I could see Joe Woods, two things came to mind. Number one is all I was saying, damn, Joe Woods. I never seen Joe Woods look like he was mesmerized, like, damn, I don't know what we doing here. That's the look that I seen coming from Joe Woods. Y'all tell me in the chat what y'all thought it was. And the second thing I thought was, damn, in the game, because I was joked out, because I had to make jokes during the show because the game was so garbage. Because I was joking in the game, I made fun of Lowe's Atlanta team, the vampire, Arthur Blankula. I was made Lowe popped in. I had to kind of, stick it to Atlanta for a little bit. And I was just joked out. I had to make some jokes, And I remember seeing Joe Woods. The second thing popped in my mind, seeing him, I said, damn, Joe Woods looked like he a security guard at the Civil Rights Museum. That's what it just, I don't know where that popped up from, but that's what I got. What did you guys get? All I see Joe Woods standing there. I said, damn, man, Joe Woods, I never seen him look like that before. And then immediately right after that, y'all know I'm a joker. And I said, damn, Joe Woods looked like he could be a security guard at the Civil Rights Museum. That's exactly what I thought. I don't know where that came from, but that's what I draw when I seen him. I was like, damn, you put him right in the Negro League museum. He'd be a security guard, the guy that stamp your ticket. That's what he looked like standing up there. He just looked confused. I don't know what was going on there, man. Shit. All right. But hey, man, listen, that's that. I was going to play some other stuff here, but hey, man, why even go there? Why even go there? I already hit you with some of this other stuff. And it's just sad, man, to be honest with you, man, the stuff that's going on with the team. They said the hamstring stuff, all this kind of stuff, but it's just more of the same, man. Shout out to Bob. Gross ineptitude of the Saints season continues and lost to Chargers. So it's very obvious and clear with a lot of different people out there, just not with the Saints. That's all I could say. All right. Slim said Joe looked like, what the hell is this? I know, wasn't it? Joe Woods was like standing up there because the camera was right like from the other side of the field, looking directly at him. And it appeared like he was looking at the camera, but he wasn't. He had that 1,000-eye stare, that 1,000-mile stare where he's not looking at. He was looking at the field. The camera just caught him looking at the field and what was going on. He was sitting there like, man, what's going on here? What the hell? And at that moment, that's why I said, like, man, Joe Woods could be the chief orator at the Negro League Museum. That's how he looked. I don't know. He just looked like that guy. All right. Big ups. Garrett says, Q. Well, I was there at the game. Piss poor plays, embarrassing. Loomis, take the gum out your mouth and do something. We shall see, my brother. Thank you, brother Gary. Pete says, Q, he had that look like we coached this in practice. I know he was just detached. Yeah, I was like, damn, I ain't never seen Coach Woods look like that, man. Chantel says, yes, Saints can beat the Panthers if they come out and play. I got the Saints winning the Panthers game. We'll do the preview down the line. I don't know if we'll bring in our boys, PNP, to talk about it. I don't know if they even doing that. Usually when it's this bad, a lot of people just throw the previews out. Hell, I ain't been doing no guest previews of guys coming in. I don't know. We'll see. All right. L-Dub says, I'm not going to lie. If it wasn't for your watch party comment, I wouldn't even watch these games anymore. Shout out to you, L-Dub. Appreciate you. Yeah, it makes it fun, man. You get up there and it's kind of difficult to try to. What's up, Antoinette? It's kind of difficult to kind of just, when you watching trash like what the Saints gave, you kind of putting lipstick on a. But I'm a creative cat. So what I do is I have different things going on. I got my man. I got all my stuff, and I hit you with songs and everything, man. So it's we got to keep it moving, man. We're gonna have a good time regardless. If the Saints stinking on the field, we're gonna still be up in here having fun. You know what I'm saying? That's how I look at it. One way or the other, we're gonna get a good experience here. Of course, at the end of the game, the Saints stink, but at the same time, you're like, man, we had fun watching them stink. Just remember, fam, we talked about this for a while. The thing is, this is a part of the purging process of what has to happen to get people that don't belong here out of here. This is the situation where the truth, when justice comes into play, and everything that's been fabricated or built on a lie gets smacked the hell down. This is what it is. If it's not built correctly, nature will tear it down. If it's not built in harmony, nature will tear it down. The universe will tear it down. If it's not constructed and built in harmony, it will not last. Because there's certain ways and principles of how you're supposed to build stuff. And like when people mess over old people, they say when it was what was the Enron crap that happened and all that, when they was doing all that kind of stuff with the old people money, taking it from stealing old people money and doing all that kind of OF stuff. At the end of it, then tell you like the 48 Laws of Power was almost like was written by the devil's cousin, his distant brother, or whatever the case was that wrote it, justify all this disagreeable behavior. But at the end of the day, man, listen, those bastards that write that type of stuff, they do that. They'll put it out for you, but you try that on them. They don't want that to happen to them. All these evil dogs don't. They know what it's about. They don't want what they do to others to be done to them. So and what the point is, it has to be built correctly and in line and in league with universal principle. What's that? That's God rules and regulations that they all have to follow. And those who follow them, they have a longer process of success. Now you'll get trials and tribulations, but you're set up correct to be able to deal with them. Like yours, to a degree, wouldn't be as difficult of somebody else. You see what I'm saying? Because people that understand and know, they got certain characteristics built up. Not saying that you have something they don't have, they just don't use it or they don't believe in it. They consider it junk. Just like you have these dumbass scientists that's supposed to be the smarties telling you that you got junk DNA inside of you. Like God put junk in you. I ain't got nothing else to put here, so let me just take some of this bullshit over here and stuff it in there. To the gall of these people. But at the end of the day, man, listen, understand and know that whatever's built wrong will fall. And what you're witnessing is the fall. This is universal principle at work. Watch it. This is divine. I talk about divine justice. This is divine justice. That guy is not supposed to be the head coach of this team. He got there wrong. He doesn't have the characteristics to do it, and he's being purged from the process. Got another dude propping him up. He knows he's not supposed to be there, and he's still propping him up. He gonna go down too. How it's gonna happen, I don't know, but I know that they can't win against divine justice. That's all I know. It's not gonna work. You can sit up here and extend him games and games and games and waste time all you want, but at the end of the day, we're gonna get what we want regardless of this. Now, all we have to do is nothing. We can still come to these watch parties and have fun, and they're gonna be people out there that bet against the Saints. And also shout out to Bet Online. If you can't make money with the Saints, make money against the Saints in my goddamn book, because they do it to your ass. And they make money win, lose, or draw. Do they get your ass a refund when they lose the game? Oh no, you get your ass up out of there. Get on up out of here so we can move on and keep making money. That's what they say once that game open. Security, get these people up out of here. They give you a refund, they don't give you no refund, man. Come on, man. Don't be a fool and a chump for these clowns clown ass people, with this disrespect, man. Let's get these people together over here. All right, what's up, Jermaine? Shout out to you, man. All right, ATL Georgia says, Faithful says, reminds me of watching Falcons with Arthur Smith. Hey, bro, listen. Good comment, man. Great comment right here by the Falcon Faithful. Watching the Falcons with Arthur Smith and Ritter. And we kind of talked about this as well because, like I said, Dennis Allen, nobody wanted Dennis Allen. When they were trying to talk about hiring Dennis Allen, nobody asked to talk to no Dennis Allen, not for no head coach. Come on, man. We know this. The man's not qualified, like Kevin says. Q, you're not qualified. That's what Mickey Loomis told people that were criticizing Dennis Allen because of his poor coaching practices. Oh, those guys, no, you're not qualified. Remember that? And I made a joke about it. Man, I'm going to find every last one of these Mickey memes and make a collage of things of his fake working employee ass elitist style, criticizing, oh, that's just lazy and unsophisticated. He said that to the media. He said that the lazy thing to do when he started talking in this interview right here. When he says it, this is what he looks like. When he gets this guy right here gets into this bag where he started talking this elitist crap. The lazy thing to do is, well, lazy thing is you guys, Dennis Allen is a good coach. That's what he does. This clown can't win against the Saints. But anyway, y'all throw your questions in the chat, man. We'll get ready to get out of here in a minute. Any questions, fam, please feel free to throw them in the chat right now. Put Q first so I can tell the difference between, the comments and the questions. If you want an answer, throw it in the chat. Right now, we got over 250 votes on the poll. If you hadn't had an opportunity to vote on the poll. Who's responsible for the Saints losing ways? Right now, Mickey Loomis is 45% of the poll and the Dennis Allen is 42%, 11 for Gale, and 2% for the Saints players. So right now, the family members say, the great Saint think tank and the mighty Who Dat Nation says, Mickey Loomis, 45% is responsible for the Saints losing ways. Also, don't forget that he gave you, then not only did he give you Dennis Allen, but he also gave you a effed up salary cap situation for not only this year, but next year. And also you get some relief when you be like 30 something, north of 30 million. That number continues to drop based on moves that he makes now, because he had to rework contracts to open up money so he can be able to sign Scantling and whoever he brings here. So that drops that third year number down even further. So you're going, and that other 30, because it was like 30 million 3 years from now, that's going to continue to drop down from the black into the red, because next year when you're 80 something million, 90 something million is some of the projections have for 2025 salary cap situation, the Saints are going to be 90 something million in the red, which means let's say if the NFL's cap situation, like the cap rises and they knock off 25 or 30 million, that still puts you 60 million in the red, which you have to rework contracts to free up money. That kicks into the next year. And then you won't see the relief until the fourth year, which is when these contracts, the majority of the big contracts, the DeMarios, the Cams, the Taysums, those fall off the books and they then give you a relief. And 2 years from now, you'll see some of that fall off as well. So it's just one of those things, fam, that we have to just watch out for, man. It's just the truth. This guy's responsible for that. Oh, I know. Hold on, yeah. Oh, it's the players. It's the players. Yeah, I'm telling you, it's the players. It's who's at fault, Mickey? Oh, well, it's the players. It's the coaches. It's me. So he's third in line. People say the truth when they're under pressure. You notice that? He said it in here. Oh, I'm a lazy thing for you to do. He thought he was doing something when he ripped that list out He thought he was making it when he did that. Well, the lazy thing to do is, oh, no. He thought he was doing something. He thought he was doing something.
Yeah.
Okay. Crazy. Oh, well, hold on. I got to chew this damn gum. Oh, hold on. This guy's a maniac. Look at him. Hold on now. Hold on. Chew this damn gum. All right. What's up, Derek Powell? How you doing, my brother? He says, Q, what chance would you give the Saints to fire DA if they lose to Carolina? 50% or 0%? Bro, I would say if you give me 50, I would take the 50% because the reality is if that would be the finishing punch right now, that would mean the Saints would be 7 straight losses and they would have lost to the worst team in the NFL. I would, if you're taking 0 or 50, I take the 50. Thank you, brother Derek. All right. M. Dot says, Q, if we end up with a top 5 pick, who would you like? It would. I don't know. I'm gonna have to go look over it, bro. The lines, we need line work, bro. Because the thing is, the philosophy going into next year is just tied to the fact that we got to take all of this into account. That's what I'm saying. Even though, and hear me well, fam. I've said this many times, right? Shout out to your T-Mom. I see T-Mama. Much love to you, Queen. I've said this a lot of times. The issue with the Saints insofar is just Dennis Allen is a figurehead, right? He's like, like what they do with a lot of people. You take the president, he put him out there, and people just, things are messed up and they just blame him, and then people get tired of him, they rip him down, give you another one for 4 more years. That's the same thing. But the people that pull these people strings, you don't never look at them and say, well, you the one feeding this guy lines. You telling them what to do. So we gotta get beyond that we done been through this process well enough. There's too much information out there to understand how the process works. So then when you know how the process works, you can be able to then take the process and either throw it away and create another one or some kind of way use it to benefit the people. Because most of the times, a lot of the tools that they're using are not the tool itself. It's not bad. It's the user of the tool. It's like the weapon is not the bad thing. It's the person using it. Oftentimes they play games and gaslight and do all this weird shit, this propaganda. They try to peer pressure you into stuff. It's not intellectual. It's not like they giving you facts and stats and stuff like that. They try to pressure you into it or use peer pressure techniques to force you to do something or be something that you're not. Like they'll take an image of somebody who they deem as beautiful and they'll take this person and splash them and say, this is the image of beauty. And then you'll see a lot of people try to emulate what that is. They'll try to act like that person, dress like that person, look like that person. And that's a form of mind control. A lot of people don't understand that because a lot of people don't know the techniques. A lot of people are not interested in learning the techniques. If you don't want to learn what they are, you're going to be whipped by them. That's all I got to tell you. That's how this society is. It's the smart people run this shit. and not just smart people, resourceful people. They know how to use the resources and that intelligence and keep other people disorganized and decentralized so they can manipulate and do what they got to do. In many cases, they use victimhood philosophy to run unopposed. Did you catch that? They know that the path to winning, the path that gets you fast is the path of least resistance. But if I play that card or operate that philosophy, then I'll run unopposed to where I need to go. People got to understand that too. It's too much information out here for people not to know how things operate. With all that being said, the situation with Dennis Allen, like when we talk about getting rid of Dennis Allen, yes, get rid of him. But at the same time, this guy here is the cause for why there is a Dennis Allen. Once you get rid of Dennis Allen, my question to you would be who would you trust who he hires next? And then you would say no. Why? Because the track record with Dennis Allen. How did he choose so poorly? You see? So it's only half a portion of the healing process. And then you would have to deal with Mickey Loomis, what he did from a standpoint of money with this team over the last couple of years. You're in a terrible situation cap wise, the Who Dat Nation we all in. We're in an awful situation cap wise for the next 2 years going into the third year. I would say even to, he says 2, but it's really 3. If he's telling you 2, it's actually 3 years. And you can actually, I've done this before on the shows when I showed the money spanning out from this year to 3 years out, showing you that the Saints money is effed up until the contracts of DeMario, Tyron, and Carr and all these guys fall off in 3 years from now. And some of the dead money falls off. Some of them are going, and then it balloons to like $200 million because a lot of the big heavyweight contracts are gone. And what kind of team are you going to have then? Then you can go into free agency and attack. But the philosophy for the Saints, because of the money issues and because you have to get another general manager to manage the mess that Mickey Loomis done put the team in from an economic standpoint, with putting Dennis Allen on top of the team and destroyed the success of the team, this moron. And then he destroyed the cap situation where you have to work through cheap free agents on 1-year contracts and undrafted free agents and draft picks. That's your thing. Cheap veterans, 1-year contracts on 1-year deals. Y'all know who they are. Cheap veterans on 1-year deals, undrafted people, a college undrafted free agents, and draft picks. That's the philosophy going forward. You ain't gonna be able to go in there and talk about competing to get somebody, a heavy-handed person. You can't do that in free agency because the money's not right, especially if you're trying to come up out of it. So it's only us. That's what I'm saying. Dennis Allen's only a fragment of this. Mickey Loomis is the guy, and he would have to orchestrate the hiring process to find you a new coach. Do you have faith that he'll find the right coach? See, we need to start a whole new era of football by removing him from the general manager position, get a new general manager, and let that general manager manage the mess that he gave him. That's the way out of this, because he don't know what he's doing. He's operating like we 10 years back in the NFL. That's why all this need to be broken up. Them just keeping it real. But I say all that and went all the way around, and we talk about draft picks, because even though you got to look at, I'm looking at offensive line. People say, Q, what about the quarterback position? I hear you, man. But what good is putting Cam Ward or what's the other kid? Sanders or any of these kids behind that leaky ass offensive line the Saints have? They can't even run the ball, dude. You know what I'm saying, brother? So at the end of the day, you have to build up those lines. Our lines are not good, especially interiorly speaking. They're not good. We got Lucas Patrick shouldn't be starting for us. Do we get that? Lucas Patrick is a backup. The only time Lucas Patrick should be starting is if somebody's hurt. He'll fill in for a couple games while a starter is down. But Lucas Patrick shouldn't be alone. Shouldn't be starting for us. He shouldn't be. I no disrespect to Lucas Patrick, but it simply is what it is. He should not be a starting offensive lineman for us. No. So, you got to build up the line some kind of way. Maybe you get a quarterback, and then in the second round, you go and get you a couple of guards. We need to build up that offensive line, and they can't pay a lot of money to go get a guy in free agency. So they're going to have to use draft picks to do it. Cheap free agents is Ali Udo. Cheap free agents is Lucas Patrick. These are the guys we got already. They're not working. These cheap free agents is not working. Lucas Patrick had a few good games, but look what he's been doing since he been banged up here or there. Well, he shouldn't be a full-time starting offensive lineman for us. He should be a swing guy, not a guy starting like Lucas Patrick. No, and hell no. We got to build up our lines, man. So we might have to invest in some offensive linemen. Might have to invest in some defensive interior men, because they trade rumors around Chase Young. The Saints, are they trying to make Chase Young the guy? I know Peyton Turner is not that. Isaiah Foskey is not developing fast enough. Carl Granderson is undrafted. He got his money, but there's still many issues at the other defensive end position. Do the Saints lock in with Chase Young? Well, an indication would be if they don't trade him, they might be considering keeping him. If they don't trade him, that might give us an indication that they want to keep Chase Young for a little longer. If they don't trade him prior to the trade deadline, you know what I'm saying? Or let him walk for free, knowing that you're not going to be wanting to sign the man. So that'll be interesting to kind of watch out. But yeah, I'm a big player in terms of building up the line, man. And I know they ain't going to have the money to go in free agency to go and get it. So they try to re-sign some of their players. And we just tied into this thing, man. The only way out of this thing is we got to let these contracts play out. And then 3 years from now, you'll get a big bump from the cap. That's how it looks from the monetary standpoint. It's a long ass comment to talk about top 5 picks. I would have to focus on the offensive line. I would be honest with you, bro. There is no success unless we can run the ball and protect the quarterback, and the Saints can't do that right now. I'm not big on Cesar Ruiz either. Really, I'm not. Thank you for the question, fam. Chantel says, Q, do you think Dennis Allen will get fired or coaching? I think he definitely gets fired. It's only a matter of time when he gets fired. I don't think he pulls the Saints out of this hole. And don't forget, y'all, it's playoffs a bust. So regardless, whatever this fool on the screen say or do or not do, at the end of the day, if it's no playoffs, there is no Dennis Allen for another year. It ain't gonna fly. The goal is playoffs a bust. And obviously the team is in the form of mutiny right now. They've lost 6 in a row. We're 2-6, and it's going to be a difficult mountain to climb. The next couple of games, you got Atlanta. Atlanta's playing well. If he and the thing is, people say, Q, does he get fired? Yeah, he should get fired if he loses to Carolina. I think they beat. I'm gonna just say it right now. I think they beat Carolina. I don't think it'll be a big win. I think they'll beat Carolina, and then what they look like against Atlanta. You let Atlanta sweep you. You done. We talking about Carolina. If they let Atlanta sweep them in week 10, you done, dude. Over. It's over. Straight up. You let Atlanta sweep you, you done. Over with. But see, the problem is, like I said, it should be all about success and saving the season. This idiot's going to wait until the longest possible time, and it should happen over the next 3 games. That's what I say. My timeline is the next 3 games, because anything past that, you're really getting really close, because the Saints will basically have to win all of those games. They have to beat Atlanta. They can't not beat Atlanta. They have to beat Atlanta to keep pace. They don't see Tampa Bay until at the end of the year. But in between that, that's Green Bay, that's Washington with Jaden Daniels tearing it up. It's Green Bay in there somewhere. It's a bunch of other games. The Rams are in there. You know they struggle with the Rams. The Rams ain't hitting on nothing, but they still seem to struggle with the Rams. And there are other teams. So at the end of the day, they would have to basically beat all those teams to have an opportunity to get back to 500 and put themselves in a position to win the NFC South. But as far as Dennis Allen's concerned, he don't get an extra year unless he wins. It's playoffs a bust, man. We ain't playing this with these people. All right. Thank you, Chantel. 504 Coach says, Q, how is this not Gail Benson's fault? I think a lot of times you people talk about Gail. Hold on for a second, fam. Yeah, a lot of people talk about Gail Benson. The poll said, what is that? 10% of the people says Gail's fault. Gail's a brand ambassador. I mean, I guess logically you could say it's her fault because she owns the team and she has ultimate power. But I know how it's set up, and Gail doesn't. She's a brand ambassador. That's pretty much what she is. She's a brand ambassador. She goes out, does all this charity work, and she does what she does. You know, she's a brand. She relies heavily on the guys that Tom Benson left her. Dennis Lauscher, we already broke down the echelon of who these people are. We know Dennis Lauscher is not a football on the field guy. He's a glorified, no disrespect, but he's a treasurer. That's his history. It's on his damn bio that he's a treasurer and an accountant. He's a businessman. He don't deal with anything football, tackling, all that stuff on the field. That ain't him. He the one you go talk to when you want to set up a official toothpaste for the New Orleans Saints. You got to talk to him and his people. He'll take you out to dinner and all that kind of stuff and work out the contract and whatever you want, whatever this type of stuff. That's what he does. He's the money guy. He's the right hand to the throne. Any money related activities and where the money's coming from and doing this and setting up here, that's what he does. But then it gets to who handles the business on the field. Is this guy on the screen here. And then around him is nothing else but money people that facilitate money deals and stuff around the Saints. That's what it is. And it's set up to show you that they have more money people at the top of the team than they do football people, because it's all about the money. And it shouldn't be all about the money. It should be tied to wins. If you want the money, you'll get the money the right way. But they're trying to set it up where they get the money, whether they win, lose, or draw. They're trying to make it foolproof at your behest. And I said, no. I say no to that. If you want this money, you're going to earn it. And don't give it. And if they start winning a few games here or there, don't go back to them. Just remember, have a longer memory to understand they've been losing for years. And a 3 or 4 effing games shouldn't run your ass back to watching the games at the stadium. Stay away and make him earn your money again by letting them get to the playoffs. Then you come back in and say, okay, now you're doing what you're supposed to do. Only a fool, a chump, and a moron believes, and there are plenty of them out there, believe like they programmed them to believe that you support the team, win, lose, or draw. You give your money to the team, win, lose, or draw. So they bank out on your ass, whether they win, lose, or draw. In some kind of way, I'm supposed to twist that into some kind of feeling to make me feel righteous about being a fool by giving my support to something that ain't even respect in my mind. They ain't even playing up to the righteous levels to represent who we are. So no, I'm not going for that. I've been shook that programming. I've been trying to tell people about that's bullshit that they created. They created that propaganda for you to think like that so they can make money regardless if they win, lose, or draw. And they don't give you no refund if they lose. They don't give you money back or give you a cut in prices on the next game because they lost the prior game. They don't do none of that. They don't do none of that shit for you. So why do you have this weird feeling to feel like that about them? I'm going to give it all to them. I don't care what you say. I'm a big dumbass fool and I'm going to be a big stupid ass fool. I don't care what you say. Well, you go be a big stupid ass fool. Just go way over there somewhere. Go way over there somewhere. And then when everybody start moving this way, stay your big dumb ass over there. Because them people usually the ones that come running back. Well, I was with y'all the whole time. I was just playing. I was just playing. No. But yeah, at the end of the day, man, this is the thing. It's it is a part of it is Gail's fault, but it's in my mind, it's her fault because she shouldn't have allowed this. She should have came in with advisors, right? You hire advisors. You have an advisor who you trust that know about football. That's not tied to that in the sanctum, that goes about the business of watching, listening, going to the meetings, and they have the trained ears where they come back to you with the word on the street. And it should be a team of them, like 1 or 2 people that you hire to kind of look at this and that and the third. Me personally, I've given my idea about how I would reformize the Saints upper echelon of the organization because they don't have enough football people up there. Mickey Loomis has too much power. That's the problem. Everything the buck stops with him. He has too much power in the Saints organization. Being a VP and a general manager, you don't even do his general manager duties. Where the hell he at with the people, the players performing a mutiny right now? Where is he at? You know where he's at? In his goddamn office. That's where he been at, and that's where he does. He doesn't engage with those players. He doesn't talk to the players. Even the reporters told you that. When Cat asked him at the end of the year, Mickey, you don't usually talk to the players. What made you want to go and give them a speech? Well, I just wanted to make sure they know that they're not going to be comfortable. Remember that? The not being comfortable speech? He never said that before because that's what we were saying, that he is too comfortable. But he took that and put it on them. Oh, well, that's too comfortable. We're going to make it uncomfortable. We're going to make it uncomfortable for those guys. Oh, yeah. I gave them a hell of a speech. And look what happened. What happened now? Did the speech work, Mickey? It's time for a speech right now. Mickey waited all the way to the end of last season to get them people a speech. That shit went in one ear and out the other. You don't give them a speech at the end of the year when the team failed. Right now is when you give them the speech, Mickey. These people ain't serious, man. They ain't serious. It didn't take 6 straight losing games for the team to say, hey, team, players only meeting. You are not serious about winning. You'd have said that shit after 3 losses or 2 losses if you're about that winning. Come on, man. Come on. Am I talking truth or not, man? A winner ain't gonna wait to 6 straight losing games before they start talking about team-only meetings, man. They're doing that shit after 2 or 3. Hold on, we gotta stop this. Because you could see it happening. We seen it. We seen what the Saints was doing. It was systematically breaking down. This stuff just don't happen. You see it in the game. You see fractures and cracks that lead to more and more and more, and then it starts snowballing. and they snowball. As look at the Saints offense. Case in point, the offense was scoring all these points, and look how it done dialed off like they done fell off a cliff somewhere. They scored 10 points against the Broncos on Thursday night and put up 8 Sunday afternoon against the Chargers. This is crazy. But in part, 504 Code brother, you are correct, because she gave her power to Mickey Loomis, so she is at fault for doing that. She did not have, you put a certain amount of trust into him, but at the same time, this organization is in need of a reformation, man. This is an old, antiquated mobster style ran team that needs to be changed. They need new people at the top of that organization, and Mickey Loomis needs the general manager job taken from him. He already has the VP. He's a decent VP, but take the GM job, please. All right, thank you. Let's see. Brute Saint says, if we lose against the Panthers, that dome better be empty when the Falcons come to town. Hey, bro, listen, I'm with you on that. Thank you, brother.
Thank you. You're far too kind.
Shout out to Brute Saint, man. Shout out. All right, big ups to the rest of you guys. Let me see if I can catch a couple of these here, man. Here, kind of see if I can snowball these as well, like the Saints, fall off the clip like the Saints do on these questions. All right, Jermaine, shout out to Jermaine, says, Matt Moscona went off today. Okay, yeah, that's good, man. I like Matt Moscona, man. All right, Garrett says, he says, hey, who can be next behind Mickey Loomis if Gail do something? Who's next behind Mickey Loomis? Meaning if she remove Mickey Loomis from the GM job, it's got to be Kai Harley. Kai Harley should be the general manager of the team. And I said, like I said before, you need to take Lauscher away from the president's position and give him another title befitting of what he does. Like the president of business affairs or whatever, I don't know, whatever. Just create a title that gives him something like it's befitting of what he does, and take the president of football operations and give it to and hire a person that's a former player, not just some old regular dude, but a guy that played at a high level inside of in the NFL, respected, and then that went through the NFL executive program. And then like a John Lynch type. That's the perfect analogy to John Lynch type for the 49ers. He was a player at a high level, played Hall of Famer, went to the NFL executive program, became an exec, and he did wonders for the 49ers. That type of player, that kind of person, and make them the president of football operations. Strip Mickey of the GM job, give it to Kai Hartley right there with 2 moves. Those were actually 3 moves, because you take Lauscher and make him the president of business affairs for the Saints. Take the president of football operations, give it to that John Lynch type of hire. Take the general manager job from Mickey and give it to Kai. Those 3 moves right there, man, you just modernized the top of the team. You just added 2 new decision makers in the process. So so it's not crammed and jammed at the top with Mickey sitting on top of it. And he's also preventing people from moving up in the organization. He has 2 jobs. He don't need those 2 jobs. Kai Hartley should have been a general manager of this team. He don't need to be VP and GM. He's doing that out of spite to control the power of the team. And he's preventing other people from elevating into the organization. He doesn't need 2 jobs, man. This dude's old. You don't need those 2 jobs. I'm just keeping it real, man. At some point, you got to modernize your damn organization. You just got to do it. This is the time. J-Rock says, Q, I saw Joe Woods' face, and only thing missing was the phrase, want to get away. Yeah, that was watching Joe Woods like that, man. I threw a little joke at him, but man, I never seen him look like that. It was like he was lost. Chantel says, Q, do you think Dennis Allen will be coach? No, I already answered this one. Thank you. Ty says, Q, do you think Peyton or Mickey bamboozled the Saints organization by naming DA as the next head coach, knowing he's not head coach material? And I actually think Mickey Loomis believed that he was a coach, that he was a good coach. I don't think Mickey Loomis is lying about that. I actually think Mickey Loomis believes that Dennis Allen is some type of way a Sean Payton type of, he's going to be a Sean-esque, Payton-esque type of coach in his career. I really think he believes that. That's how crazy this guy is. He really believes that Dennis Allen is going to transform into the defensive version of Sean Payton and win a Super Bowl with him. I think this guy believes that. That's how crazy this dude is. Nobody in his mama, even Dennis Allen, knows that he's not that type of player, but he'll sit there and take that money. He won't say, you know what, man, I'm good. And then when you can him, all he's gonna do is just go over there to Denver and go join Sean Payton. That's what kind of game this is. So he done tore up your team and made you waste time only for him to take a job with Sean Payton, because that's what he gonna do. He gonna go follow Sean Payton to Denver, just like Carmichael did. He like, how is that? So you done wasted all this time. Well, it ain't him. He took the money. Like the song, "Take the Money and Run." That's what Dennis Allen is doing. Take the money and run. You know that song? That's probably Dennis Allen's favorite little country group. All right. GM Kev says it's almost Mickey is listening to you in that video. Look at his face. Yeah, he need to listen. He need to shout. Hold on. Well, you say I don't listen. I'm listening. I'm listening to you, big guy. Oh, yeah, I'm lazy. Oh, yeah, you're lazy. Oh, hold on. You're unsophisticated. Oh, you're unqualified. He said all that about people. That guy said that. All right. Danny says, what he says, what good will a high draft pick next year when going to Mickey Loomis, who makes the pick, and Willie Mack? I know that's Danny. That's what I said earlier in the bro. I don't know if you heard that, but I said that if you get rid of Dennis Allen, it only takes away a portion of your plan. Dennis Allen didn't mess up the salary cap for the next 3 years. It's this fella. That's why I'm keeping him on the screen. So what all the stuff I'm saying sticks to him. Dennis Allen didn't ruin your cap for the next 3 years. This guy did. And even if you fire Dennis Allen, do you believe that this guy on the screen will find a competent coach that can take the team in the proper direction? Do you? Many people will tell me no. Why? Because of his hire of Dennis Allen and the fact that he went so hardcore in the paint for Dennis Allen, and everybody knew Dennis Allen wasn't that guy. But he went hard in the paint. That shows a gross misjudgment by supposed to be the top visionary of the team. How could you be so off on that? And everybody knew it. You lost a lot of credibility with that one. That threw some paint remove on his little legacy he had going on. And I was like, he fully exposed everything he did. He hired Sean Payton, but he was an expensive gopher for Sean Payton. It was all Sean's vision. The moment Sean Payton and him left, Dennis out, you see how the team fell through the flow. And he could not sustain success after Drew Brees and Sean Payton, which is also on Mickey Loomis, because Mickey Loomis had opportunities to move this organization from one to the next. He sat there. He had an opportunity to get Tom Brady and sat there and waited for Drew Brees, who barely could throw the ball up the field, to come back. And Tom Benson waited. Let me tell you, he was in every time you hear Tom Brady back in the day, Tom Brady was talking. When I say Tom Benson or Tom Brady was sitting there waiting for the Saints. And he basically signed the same contract that Drew Brees signed. If you go back and go look at the money, he's saying he signed the same contract that Drew signed with the Saints. You could have, because Drew Brees was done. And you get an opportunity to get Tom Brady, go get Tom Brady. But Drew Brees knew what Tom Brady was going to do, come down here, win a Super Bowl, and still take his record down, because at the time, Drew had all his little records and all that. But Tom Brady still got all the records in the end. He still outplayed, in terms of his longevity, outplayed Drew Brees, went past his time, and still got the records that Drew was holding. A lot of Drew's records, Tom took it and won a Super Bowl outside of New England. And his teams were teams that were playing in this, they were formidable. Saints had an opportunity with that. They had the opportunity with Lamar Jackson. They sit there and let all that shit pass over. Sitting here waiting on Sean Payton and Drew Brees, as opposed to moving beyond those guys and building something else. This guy on the screen, he responsible for that. Now when shit hitting him in his face, and now that he's fully exposed, he don't like it, because he ain't used to getting this thunder, because always had Sean Payton to cover him. Now there ain't no Sean Payton to protect you, and now he out in front of everybody. All his flaws, all his ego, all his elite bullshit, smug personality is before you, telling people they're not qualified, telling you that's lazy. That's lazy and unsophisticated. It's talking like that. Crazy, man.
All right, Papa said, I disagree, Q. We have to draft for QB, then an O-line. All right, brother. I mean, all right. Will Campbell. Yeah, there you go. You know, you know it's all about the trenches, bro. If you're not winning in the trenches, you're gonna get that quarterback hurt. That's all I'm saying. It's offensive line, defensive. You got to build those lines, bro, before you stick a play caller back there. You got to build your lines. That's what Sean Payton was really good at, building them lines. He knew how to build a strong offensive line, get his defensive line together. Coach Payton knew how to do that. Yeah. It's only a hand. Like it's like I said, you'll be relieved to get rid of Dennis Allen. Then you get your interim coach, and then you go into the off season. And then a lot of people don't trust Mickey Loomis after all of the stuff that he said and the bullshit he put up. And then people gonna have an extra disgust for Mickey Loomis because he let all of these games go, and the Saints losing games that could be salvaged. The players are not liking Dennis Allen. You hear what they're saying. Players are talking about player-only meetings, and they don't like how it's going. They being losers and all that. That's a smack in the coach face. Because the thing is, why isn't Dennis Allen in the coaches only? It should be a team. It should be a team meet, not a players only meeting. That would infer, like Nick Underhill reporting, that would infer that there's a separation between the coaches and the players. That's a mutiny. The coach needs to work with the players to win. The fact that they're doing that on their own, he done lost the team. Are we missing that? Usually that means we don't like what the coach is doing and we got to step up. That's what that shit is, because he stipulates who the captains are. The captains are the ones that sit here and they tell these other players, hey, man, get in line. We got to do this, do that, and the third. There's a lot of people right now bucking against Dennis Allen in that locker room. Just telling you. Yo, I'm just telling you guys. Oh, hey, hold on now. 506Q, who's your favorite quarterback in the draft? I like Cam from Miami. I like the I'm an LSU guy. I like how Nussmeier's been playing prior to this Texas A&M game. I just don't think he uses wheels enough. He got a decent pair of wheels. He got a strong arm. He knows the system. It's gut check time to see what he do. But I like Cam Ward. I like from Miami. He's a good quarterback. I think Sanders, man. Shador is probably going to be one of the tops. What's that other kid, man? That other quarterback out there? Because I've been watching a lot of Sanders. I've been watching a lot of Cam. Obviously, Nussmeier. But that other quarterback out there, I'm going to have to pull him up. But, yeah, I've been watching a few guys. But I'm going to have to get into my draft coverage if the Saints lose another game. You might have to get into the draft coverage, baby. Oh, we bringing the draft back, baby, early. L-Dub says, Q, did you see what Duncan said about 3 teams that started 2-6 wound up going to the playoffs? Yeah, I know. I covered that, bro, some time ago, man. I remember covering that on the show some time ago. Yeah, and I gave Jeff Duncan. He found that stat like a couple of weeks ago, and I was showing it to the family member. Like, man, fam, y'all seen this? And it was showing how such and such teams start out. Well, he was showing it how if you had a 3 or 4 game losing streak or something like that. No, that wasn't Jeff Duncan. That was I can't think of the man's name. He was showing basically if you have a 3 and 4 game losing streak at a time or something like that. And he was doing that. I forget. But yeah, I did hear about the Jeff Duncan thing, man. It doesn't surprise me, bro. It doesn't surprise me at all. Yeah, it says the old man got to be rolling in his grave. Yeah, well, we need fresh people up there. Corey says Dennis Allen need to be fired just because James Winston threw for over 300 yards, 3 touchdowns yesterday. Yeah. All right. Well, let me go on a little further down here, fam. If y'all got any questions or whatever, put Q before that. All right. Chantel says Q, November the 17th is going to be an interesting game. Carr versus Winston. And I know he's going to be amped for that game. He's going to be amped. All right. M. Dot says a petition for Ty Graves. You know what? That would actually be pretty cool. That would actually be pretty cool, man, if Ty Graves bought the team from Gail, because to be honest with you, man, that could work. You know, I don't know. She don't have any heirs either. So that might be interesting. But then again, I don't know Todd Graves' philosophy insofar as football. And I know he was an LSU guy up there. I know he's a go-getter. I respect the hell how he built that LA. Because I remember a long time ago, man, I had some family out there in the Baton Rouge area that had that store was right off the campus of LSU. That Raising Cane's when that man started that. And I remember we went there and he had a little stuff. And this was a while ago. And now this guy is like a franchise. He's richest man in the state. It's just a testament. The man took chicken fingers, man. That man took chicken fingers and, with mayonnaise and what's that shit? I forgot what it's called. My son make it too. Mayonnaise and ketchup or whatever it is, Thousand Islands or whatever, mixing it together and made that shit into billions and billions of dollars. Like, golly. Because you go there, it's just chicken strips. Me personally, I like Todd Graves, man. I like his go-getter spirit, man. But I ain't gonna lie, I like Zaxby too. I like Raising Cane's, but I don't know, man. I've been kind of digging on Zaxby's lately. Like we might have to put a poll up. Would you like more, Zaxby's or Raising Cane's? I'm kind of digging on Zaxby's, man. I ain't gonna lie to you. All right. Angelique, what's up, Angelique? She said he's not giving up the check. Giovanni says if Miss B was here, he would have put a belt to that ass to Mickey. Yeah, they wouldn't be tripping like that. Mickey would never let Mickey Loomis talk that crazy to the family members. He would never let that. He was a customer. He was one of them dudes that was big on customer service. Like he respected that. That's like Ronnie Lamarck. Those old guys talk about that all the time, like respecting the people that's giving you the money. So, that kind of stuff, man, I respect the hell out of that, man. I ain't gonna lie to y'all, man. Them old guys be having, like Tom Benson, they know what it took to build this team up and that kind of stuff. And that's what you need to do. That's what you need. But, yeah. Arvin says Dia could go in 17. Loomis could probably make all the excuses. Well, he's not going to survive, bro. I'm telling y'all, in the next 3 games, the next window is the next 3 games. We know he's going to beat Carolina. The Saints are not going to lose to the Carolina Panthers. The big test will be the Atlanta game because the Saints lost the game to Atlanta. They got this second game 2 weeks from now against Atlanta. We really need to pay attention to that because the Saints get swept by the Falcons. I don't know the last time the Falcons swept the Saints, it was a while ago. If they lose to the Falcons, man, listen, it's a different level of dissatisfaction when you get swept by the Falcons. And if Dennis Allen, listen, they got to win. They'll beat Carolina. They have to beat the Falcons. But if they lose to the Falcons, man, that takes many of the people that's still borderline rocking with the Saints on that tip, that'll push them off. You get swept by the Falcons. Think about that. Your hated rival sweeps you. That's enough for you to be you gone. You up out of here. You should be fired. This dude can't shake that, man. You can't save it. This dude is not saving himself. All right. You can't shake that, man. Be that all he made. He can't get away from that. The Saints got to take care of business, man. They cannot get swept by the Falcons. They can't get swept by the Falcons, fam. You get me? What's up, Pammy? Shout out to Pammy, man. Much love. Okay, you be safe on that road, sweetheart. Truth Hurst says, what's going on, Q? Saints management, coaches, staff, players not doing a good job, but you are, Big Q. Thank you, man. Appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you. Shout out to you, man. Yes, indeed. All right, Brent says, Dick Gregory, help us. Talk to Mickey for us, brother Greg.
The problem is you trying to talk with your shit and you don't know nothing instead of listening. Huh?
I'm listening.
Okay? No. I get $40,000, nigga, and I dare motherfucker to pop.
We need him to pop the shit out of Biggie Loomis right now, man. Make it make sense, Loomis. We need Dick Gregory, man. Pop the hell out of Mickey Loomis right now. That'd be a funny fight, watching Dick Gregory fight Mickey Loomis, man. Oh man, I think Brother Greg was here. He'll whoop that ass. English says, Q, you think Peyton left because he saw he wasn't going any higher in the organization with Mickey's ego? I think Sean Payton accomplished everything he wanted to accomplish, family. I really do think that when he got ready to leave, the only reason why I was upset when Sean Payton left is because I found out, like, after the year was over with, that he was talking to reporters about Jay Glazer in particular about breaking the story when he retires at the end of the year. And then it played out like he don't know what he was going to do. He knew during the year and was talking to insiders about retiring at the end of the year and giving the story to people. That's not what you're supposed to be doing. And that happened in mid to late November when you're supposed to be battling for a playoff spot. He talking to reporters about retiring. And many people felt once Drew Brees was gone, Sean Payton was going to go. Hell, a lot of people speculated they were going to leave around the same time. We knew Drew Brees was going to retire because, you know, he was breaking down physically. He couldn't throw the ball. That's why there is a Taysom Hill RPO play. The Taysom Hill RPO play, people forget that the Taysom Hill RPO package was set up because of Drew Brees' inability to throw the deep ball. Taysom was the designated deep ball thrower. Instead of just moving beyond Drew Brees and finding another quarterback, they created people for his issues. And Taysom was supposed to be the boy that throw, or the guy that's throw the ball deep. That's how it started. That's why it always paid to be a great think tank historian, man, because you can mash these events together. Because sometimes people got a lot on their mind. Sometimes they forget that. Like, that's why there is a Taysom here. Taysom started off as Drew's designated D. He did other things, but when he tried to, Sean Payton had the idea to create a separate offense with Drew Brees to kind of cover up some of Drew Brees' inabilities. You see? So, you know, they needed, his body was breaking down and they needed to move beyond him. And instead of doing that, they passed on Lamar Jackson for Davenport. They, you know, had a chance to get Tom Brady, and you get Tom Brady wanted to come to the Saints. He wanted to be a Saint. He really wanted. That's why when he played the Saints, he got upset about it. He even said on two separate interviews when he was playing about his angst, because Tom Brady has this thing where you don't pass on him. That's what drove him his entire career, is the fact that they passed on him, and he was like a 6th-round draft pick quarterback. He beat all those other quarterbacks, and he made a career of proving the doubters wrong. You don't pass on me. I'm Tom Brady. That's how he lived. And the Saints did that. And I remember in interviews, y'all can find them interviews with him saying stuff about the Saints, you know, just throwing little jabs here and there. But he wanted to come to the Saints, and the Saints had an opportunity to get him. And they set up there. This idiot set up here and waited on Drew Brees to make a decision to come back. And Drew's going to come back because he knew what Tom Brady was trying to do. Tom was going to come down here, break his records, and win a championship with his team. Think about what I'm saying. You're like, well, Drew Brees is cool. No, Drew Brees showed he got pettiness in him, especially if you remember back in the day when Drew got hurt. They put Teddy Bridgewater in there. Put one in the chat if y'all remember this. And Teddy Bridgewater won like 3 games in a row or something like that. They were saying Teddy. And Drew Brees was supposed to come back after the bye week because they played Arizona. Then they had a bye, and then the game after the bye was against the Falcons. Drew Brees was supposed to come back against the Falcons. He pushed his way into the starting game to be for the Arizona game. He was supposed to come back after the bye, and he forced his way back in there. He knew that the team was rolling without him not being in there, and he made sure he got back in the starting lineup because he's supposed to wait after the bye. And it would have been interesting because he won the Arizona game. If he would have looked at Drew, if Teddy Bridgewater won those games, including the Arizona game, and Drew comes back after the bye week against Atlanta and loses, how does that look? I remember all that shit, man. I don't romanticize none of that. He got petty in him. Hell, everybody, we all do. But he got petty in him. He ain't all about all team shit. That's one of the things. And then that Tom Brady thing. We knew that if Tom Brady came down here, he was going to win a Super Bowl with the Saints. He would have did the same thing with the Saints that he did with Tampa Bay. We probably would have been a Super Bowl and a couple of runs because the Saints team, in my opinion, were more together than what they had. Because when he went down there, he had to build the offensive line. He had GM duties. He had to, I want this guy, I want that guy. Grunt went down there with him. He picked up people that wouldn't have went down there and brought him over there to help him build a team. He basically helped build up the offensive line. I want this guy, I want that guy. Remember that? That's what happened. This guy right here didn't want it. He let it play out. That's what I'm saying. This man don't have no vision, fam. You don't hire Dennis Allen and then keep him around and make excuses, even though he's losing. He's on a 6-game losing streak and he's still a coach of your team. Wasting time, man. This is the not for long league, but they don't behave like it because this is a decision that he made. He's an emotional dude. He can't be proved wrong. So, he just get kicked in his ass. That's just what it's going to be. All right. Thank you, Truth Hurts. Great show. Thank you, man. Appreciate you for that. Appreciate
Thank you. You're far too kind.
Thank you, fam. Appreciate you. All right, let me keep this roll. Let me get on up out of here, man, and hit as many of these as quick as I can. Okay, yeah, Zaxby's. Y'all see what I'm saying? They got Marley Mall says Zaxby's is nasty. All right. Oh, no, brother. You don't like the fries. That's what it is, huh? It's the Zaxby's fries, huh? The fries ain't all that, but Zaxby's got a better menu, man. M. says, but do they really beat Carolina or the Falcons, man? I don't know. I think they beat Carolina. I think they struggle against the Falcons. We'll see. They're getting your boy back. We'll see. I don't. Yeah. R.I.P. to brother Dick. Yeah, he says, man, I remember Dick Gregory interview from back in the day. LOL. He was handling old boy every time he spoke. He talked nastily to some of them guys. Brother Ryan Hurd. And her brother, shout out to brother Ryan Hurd. He has some type of issue with his foot. He almost lost his toe. For some of the people that know who I'm talking about, brother Ryan Hurd's like a artist, some like an activist out of Tennessee, Memphis. I want to say the brother from. He had some type of issue with his foot, toe. He almost lost his toe, but he, in terms of, I don't know if it was cancer or whatever the case what is, but he was able to make it. So shout out to brother Ryan Hurd. That's where a lot of these interviews come from Dick Gregory, because of him going and interviewing Dick Gregory and asking about current events. And then somebody, you can find him on YouTube, but Dick Gregory just he's older. And as you know, y'all got older grandparents and stuff like that. They don't have, some of them, they're not as patient as they used to, because as you get older, that, you kind of, you don't really, you just let it loose. You let it fly, you know what I'm saying? You let it go. You ain't got time to sugarcoat it. You know what I'm saying? They're not sugarcoating none of that. And that's what happens, So the man just sat up there and just, took it for the benefit of everybody because he was cussing at him and stuff like that. But he knew, I ain't gonna let my feelings get involved in it. I'm gonna just, this is the information for the people. And then, later on, as Dick Gregory has transitioned, a lot of those interviews that he did have gave the world a great understanding of some of the mindset of what Dick Gregory was saying prior to him transitioning. So it's pretty cool interviews. Y'all can find them on there. Shout out to Ryan Hurd, man. Mad Drummer says, Q, what do you think about getting wide receiver help for free agency next year and drafting O-line and defensive? And what do you think about Kendre? Well, bro, they trying to throw that shade on Kendre Miller about this, that, and the third with the injuries. But the fact is, the Saints knew Kendre Miller was dealing with injuries. They scouted him when he was at TCU. But I heard the talking point at the time was that somebody made reference to this because we were not looking. Me personally, I knew about Kendre Miller, but I wanted Tajay Spears. That's what the thing was, people, because he was tearing it up for Tulane and stuff like that. So we wanted Tajay Spears because we were looking as the future, because when Alvin Kamara ultimately retires, Tajay Spears can come in and do some exceptional things for you in your offense. So the Saints looked past Tajay Spears. They picked up Kendre Miller, and they knew about Kendre because he had injuries when he was with TCU. He had injuries when he was TCU, and they were worried about Tajay Spears injuries, and look what they got. So, it's just one of them things where, it's just, that's them. And then Dennis Allen tried to throw shade. Well, he's his hand, he's hurt and all this kind of stuff. You knew that already when you got that man, that he was having problems. You knew it. And then they try to play this, throw the rock, hide your hand thing. But he knew it. We talked about that in the draft show. They knew about Kendre Miller's issues. Everybody knew about Kendre. He's a good back, but sometimes he gets hurt. And right now, my thing is too, when you start having these soft tissue injuries, a lot of that, man, you got to start looking at that training staff and what they got to do to kind of get things right there, because a lot of the hamstring issues, you got to get them guys in there, get them healthy, and got to donate more time to stretching and that type of stuff. And like I said, I've said this before. Not Dick Gregory. Bruce Lee talked about that. He wrote a book on it when he was laid up in the hospital. I don't know what I did with that book, but it's a Bruce Lee book that he wrote. He had little drawings of stuff like that, of how to exercise. Bruce Lee's book he wrote while he was laid up in the hospital with injuries. And he wrote a book talking about how the athlete gets a lot of these hamstring tears and pulls because of improper stretching. A lot of times too, they're not drinking enough water. A lot of that is tied to being dehydrated too, because sometimes they're not drinking enough water. That can help. That could be a portion of that as well. That's it. They got it all broken down. The Saints just got to get better at it, man. They got some teams that do a little bit better job than other teams do, because other teams put more of an emphasis on that. But it is what it is, fam. It's science, right? And anything that we see is an issue, we can kind of find a solution for it in terms of science, right? So, I mean, that's on that end. The wide receiver help for next year, based on the cap, I don't know who you're going to get. The Saints, from a cap standpoint, man, they're going to be kind of watching it. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know who you're going to spend on in terms of free agency next year. And I'm definitely for drafting offensive linemen to build up the line, and definitely defensive lineman, man, because I'm not sold on. I like Bink Saunders, but the Nate Shepard dude, we drafted Brian Bresee there, to step in there. And at some point, Brian Bresee has to move into the starting lineup, man. I done seen enough of Nate Shepard. Are y'all with me on that? At some point, Brian Bresee has to start. I mean, he was drafted, and he, to me, is better than, Nate Shepard might be a better run stuff and defensive tackle. But man, listen, I'm ready to move the chips all the way in on Brian Bresee and move him into the starting lineup and put Shepard as the reserve that he was intended to be. Nate Shepard don't need to be nobody's starter. He needs to be a part of the rotation. I think he'll play better there, but we need Brian Bresee in there, man. And he's not the best run defender, but God damn it, he a first round draft pick. He got to learn. I'm ready, man, for that. But yeah, I'm for drafting offensive linemen. We need guards. We need depth as well. With our backup offensive line depth is horrible. Our defense interior guys, Saunders and Shepard, are not doing the business. Now, Bink did some positive stuff against Kansas City in this last game, but for a totality of what we've been seeing, I know he was hurt prior to that. I have not really been impressed seeing Bink and Shepard together over the last couple of years versus when we had David Onyemata in there. Remember David Onyemata and Malcolm Roach and Shy Tuttle? Those guys did a way better job of run support and also applying pressure than Nate Shepard and Bink Saunders have. Man, I'm keeping it real. We need to move Bresee into the starting lineup. I know some people have hesitations about him and run stuffing, but goddamn that. He a first round draft pick. You're gonna have to learn. That's what I'm talking about. All right. Make it down a little further here, man. Once again, thank y'all for the super chats, fam. Appreciate y'all as well. Yeah, man, I don't it's time to change some stuff up, fam. For real. Lineups and everything. Marlon Mall say you're raising Canes, man. Okay. They probably ain't got a Zach. I mean, Mall, you raising Canes everywhere, man, in the city. Zaxby's is not in, they don't have a Zaxby's in New Orleans. The closest Zaxby's is one in there used to be one in Hammond. I don't think there's one in Hammond anymore. You got to go all the way to Gulfport, or you got to go to Baton Rouge for Zaxby's. So yeah, it's not as diverse as raising Cane's everywhere. But yeah, Zaxby's is not even in the city. It ain't even they don't even have a Whataburger. What's going on with that? Where's no Whataburger? And yeah, you got to go to Mississippi, or you got to go to Baton Rouge for Whataburger. I'm like, damn, what's going on with that? The mob isn't ready. The mob don't want them. What's going on with that? Oh man. M. says we're gonna talk about Olave being light in the ass. Well, bro, Olave was never meant to be the number one wide receiver, bro. In terms of he got talent, but yeah, he's a speed option, right? We know you get a tall wide receiver, right? And you got the possession guy and the speed guy. Olave was looked at as a speed guy. He was the complement for the Michael Thomas type. Remember that? But when Michael Thomas didn't work, they just made him the number one guy and took Rashid Shaheed and made him two. So you got 2 6 feet tall wide receivers. None of these guys are like great 50-50 ball catchers. Like you see a Chris Olave would catch the ball, make these spectacular catches, diving, batting the ball back to himself. Great hands, but he's in that role. But the Saints made a disservice because what they were supposed to do was replace Michael Thomas. They didn't replace Michael Thomas with a guy that can really help. They brought in Cedric Wilson Jr., who's been an unmet. Nobody's talking about that, how bad that played out. The Saints were looking at, as crazy as it sounds, Cedric Wilson Jr. being a guy that's supposed to occupy the possession role. And they were supposed to kind of have him and Chris Olave there and then have Rashid Shaheed as a slot man. That's because he was the deep ball guy. But some kind of way along the line, the roles got murky. And Clint Kubiak tried to turn Rashid Shaheed into Chris Olave, was throwing the ball at him like 50-50 balls, forcing it upfield to him and that kind of stuff. Like, what? No. He's the sneaky option. You have him out there, let him operate out of the slot against the third cornerback, blowing through the defense. They changed it all up. And the thing that really hurt the Saints early on was they didn't find a proper third option to go in there. Like you have a possession guy, then you have Olave, and then you have Rashid Shaheed in the slot. You move him around, take the top off the defense against the third corner. You see what I'm saying? They didn't do that. All of a sudden it became Rashid Shaheed and Olave on one side, and then Bub Means, and you have these 3 receivers. They're like 6 feet 1 or below. And then you didn't have a true possession man. That was crazy. It didn't go after the true possession guy. They went after a cheap option with no disrespect, which is Cedric Wilson Jr. And the truth is, you get what you pay for. Cedric Wilson ain't doing a goddamn thing for the Saints, fam. That's why when they got Maud Scantling, I was like, why is Cedric Wilson still here? Put his ass in the street. But we like keeping these people around. Why is Cedric Wilson on this team? Why? I got questions. Why is Cedric? We are on a 6-game losing streak. Some people are supposed to be fired right now. Some people not supposed to be here anymore. Why is Cedric Wilson Jr. still on this team? Why is Ali Udo still on this team? Why are some of these guys that are contributing are still on this team and we haven't went and found better backups or made trades? Fam. The goddamn Kansas City Chiefs. Hold on. Did y'all see what the Chiefs? Hold on. Let's talk about a real NFL team for a second, right? The Kansas City Chiefs are undefeated, but the Kansas City Chiefs, the Kansas City Chiefs are just unbelievable what they're doing. They're unbelievable. The Chiefs traded to get Joshua Ochi, the pass rusher from the Patriots. These people are undefeated and still making moves, and they just picked up your boy, the wide receiver. They just traded for D-Hop. Them people undefeated right now. They're 7-0, and they traded to get DeAndre Hopkins, and they picked up the Joshua Uche. I hope I'm saying his name right. The talented linebacker that was with the Patriots. To their defense, that's a real NFL team, man. They're 7-0 and still adding. See, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. They were 7-0. They can have a right to sit back like this fucking moron here. Excuse my French. But when you look at what the Patriots are doing, the Patriots traded to get Hopkins. They traded to get this linebacker. They're doing this and they're 7-0. They can literally rear back and say, hey man, I don't have to do nothing. We 7-0. We got this. We dominate. We run. Them people still making moves and they undefeated. That's what I'm talking. That's a team that wants to win. You're not going to beat a team like that. playing, thinking like this idiot here. We got it. We're just gonna sit here and we're gonna just wait to get better. They're not. Jeez. Garrett says, Q, if Carolina blows out Dennis Allen, fired it. Yeah, oh yeah, that you lose to Carolina, man. That's the worst team, man. You get your ass out of here, man. And there's no, yeah, that's right. There you go, TJ. Yeah, and Gonzalez. Do they? There you go. Okay. Is that where you at, bro? You out there in Gonzalez? All right. Philly says there's one in Lafayette. Okay. All right. See, Zaxby's is good, man. They got a better menu. But yeah, man, it's the whole deal with like this, and yeah, they didn't play Scantling in the matchup because he was here and he didn't do enough. I mean, it's not like they didn't have in him. I guess they didn't feel comfortable with Scantling being out there because they don't know anything. You don't know what plays they're running or whatever the case may be. But you're looking at a team like that's a real team to me. The Kansas City Chiefs are 7-0 right now. And they've made 2 really good trades to keep them undefeated and bringing in people, and not just anybody, not people they picked up from Canada or some unknown person. You can't, when they do an article on them, they don't got a picture on them, so they just put a fucking helmet on the screen. The Saints signed Billy Jerkwater, and then there's a picture of Billy. It's not even a picture of Billy. They just got a random generic helmet, Saints helmet, sitting on the sitting on the field. Saints just signed cornerback Billy Jerkwater, and then Billy Jerk with no picture of him at all. It's just a generic Saint helmet sitting on the field. You see, no, ain't none of that. They actually have players that have a resume that's cutting up and doing something. And usually you're supposed to be operating with that same energy if you're trying to compete against the Kansas City Chief team. Do y'all get what I'm saying here? These people are undefeated and they still making trades like they're not undefeated. That's how this go. That's what I'm trying to tell y'all. This is how it's supposed to go. All right. What's up, Scott? He says, I think we lose Sunday. Allen is fired, bro. I really feel it. Oh, I hope you're right, brother. We need to get the healing process off. Irvin says if Shaheed gets better at those immediate routes and those 50-50 passes, he can be a number 1 wide receiver, worst wide receiver too, but he is good for the deep shots downfield. That's what the role is, bro. We need to really do that. And I think a lot that's a part of the game, like you're doing too much. Like we had him kick return and the punt return, and we know Rashid is excellent with that, but it's just not a good look, man. Like you have wide receivers here. There should be a designated kick returner and punt returner. And every now and again you put Rashid in there when you need a boost from it, but he shouldn't be your designated guy. That's too much to put on him. This is a physical game. You don't need to get him hurt or any kind of way him getting tackled wrong on the field, or a guy getting a clean shot at him on a kick return or a punt return, which would take him out of the offense, and then you would miss his immediate, because he's the fastest player you got. You need to put him in a role where he's streaking down the field all the time, taking the top off the defense. The Saints really, man, like we seen Clint Kubiak like abandon the end around runs with Rashid Shaheed. You got to take advantage of that speed. He literally abandoned those runs after the first 2 weeks. That just went. I was happy when I seen a double motion play. I called it down on the stream. I was like, fam, we got a double motion. Y'all seen that? And then nothing else. 1 double motion, maybe 2, I want to say, in that game. I was surprised when even a little trickeration play that went for 3 yards. All that's been absent noticeably. But at the end of the day, like I said, man, the Kansas City Chiefs are making moves like a team that want to win. That's what you got to do. We got to make moves, man. That's the difference. Yeah, there you go. That's the difference. KK, what's up, KK? That's the difference. Yeah, Barry, I know they got one out there. He said Philly, they got a good Philly chickens. Okay, thank you, Head Trauma. All right, we got some Zaxby's lovers in here. All right, Kev says, you kept telling him, Q, all Mahomes is doing is turning and D, firing the Kels. Saints couldn't stop it. Yeah, I was saying that, man. Like, they had Derek Carr doing some of those plays. Like you could tell Derek Carr really didn't know a lot. And I said this, like it's going to take time for Derek Carr. Even when you get Derek Carr back this week, he's going to be rusty because he hadn't played for a while. It's the same thing we seen with the Saints starters that came back into the game. Cesar Ruiz, Lucas Patrick, Taysom Hill. Those guys look rusty. You know, Taysom Hill probably had one of his worst games of the year against the Chargers. He was not as effective as you think he was supposed to be. And I'm not certain was Taysom hurt in the game? I don't know if they had him on a snap count or whatever the case may have been, but he didn't really have no really astounding game in there. I don't know if he was on the pitch count or whether or not he was dinged up in and out of the game. He just didn't look right. And a lot of times, you know, those guys that missed a lot of games, like Cesar Ruiz missed a bunch of games. Lucas Patrick was in and out, missed some time. Taysom missed a bunch of games. And then them guys get in there and they got to get back to getting back into the flow of the game. I expect the same thing to happen with Derek Carr after missing, 3 games? I expect him to be rusty. And it's not going to look good unless you can kind of give him the running attack with the play action. The Saints did run the ball last game, but it was like disjointed from the play action. I was like, what? And of course, it don't help your offense when you go 2 for 13 or whatever the hell it was, man. 2 for 16 on 3rd downs. Mickey Lomas like face expression like Big Q, you gonna he ain't gonna get fired from because she ain't gonna do that. But man, who knows what could happen once you piss these people off with their money, man. They can get frantic. People start moving and shaking and operating nervously when the family base gets upset. You lose to Atlanta and watch what happened. People saying it's Carolina, you very well right. Losing to Carolina would definitely should put you out of here. You can't lose 7 games straight and keep a job. And then you lose to the worst team in the NFL. I say over the next 3 games, pay close attention. You lose to Atlanta, you done. You lose to the Falcons swept the Saints. It's because the thing is, the Who-Dats don't want to lose to the Falcons. And if the Falcons sweep the Saints with a loss in 2 weeks, he loses to Carolina, the worst team in NFC. Cut. Get that dude. You can't keep your job if you're a loser of 70, but I picked them to win. I think they beat Carolina. I don't think they blow them out. I think they beat them. And then it's going to be a game against Atlanta. That's the game you need to watch out for. I think they beat Carolina. I don't think they're worse than Carolina. I think they can beat them. But I think Atlanta is the game you got to watch out for. That's the game. You don't lose to Atlanta, you get swept. That should put them in the street there. That should get them done right there. Because after that, you got to salvage the season. You got Cleveland, you got Washington with Jaden Daniels, you got Green Bay, you got the Rams, you got the Bucks, you got another team or 2. I might be missing somebody in there, but yeah, you got some teams, man. Got to watch out. All right, yeah, Cedric Wilson needs to go. Why is Cedric Wilson still? I'm hearing all this stuff about this, that, and the third, and players, but usually there's supposed to be some releasing going on. Like right now, Monday and Tuesday should be people coming in the building, getting workouts going on. Why are we not hearing none of that? Why are we not hearing, like, if your job is on the line, he damn sure ain't behaving like it. Like there should be a constant stream of free agents coming in here trying out at the offensive line position, at the wide receiver position. Should be a constant stream of people trying out. And why we keeping people like Ali Udo, who's garbage. We keeping Cedric Wilson, who's not helping us. You know, Cedric Wilson is not helping us. Why is he still here? Why is he still on this team? Then you got to start looking at the lineup. You got to change out guys. Like I said, put Brian Bresee in the starting lineup, put Shepard in the reserve role. Enough is enough. You got to shake stuff up, man. You got to start shaking it up. And there's none of that going. Ain't nobody been cut. Ain't nobody been released. It's none of that. This dude don't have a clue of what's going on. Look at this dude. We got a veritable freak show of morons and simpletons and idiots here, man. It's either this dude or this guy, man. These guys don't have a clue. Why? Let the universe do its work, man. Let the universe do its work. All right. But anyway, man, listen. I'm going to cut out on that, man. I done had enough. I done had enough. All right. So anyway, man, listen, fam, I'm going to get out on that. Listen, I appreciate all y'all for chiming in. Warrior says, yeah, you think D.A. Carr's terrible line and the bottom ranked defense can actually win 7 in a row? No, I do not. And if there was such a thing, it would take qualities that Dennis Allen doesn't have. Right now, this is what he looks like. Look at this dude. If you're a good reader of people, this picture right here should tell you everything you need to know about whether or not this guy could take your team out from a 2-6 club and take them to the playoffs. This guy right here. This man not built for that, man. This is a defensive coordinator that got a job from the good old boy circle who didn't earn that position. No disrespect, but there are other guys better than him at this job. He's not the guy. So no, I definitely wouldn't say that he'll do a damn thing for us. Look at him. Mr. Savage says, hey, new here. We need Drew to come coach. Like, I don't know what else that can fix the team coach-wise. All right, thank you, Mr. Savage. Appreciate you, man, for stopping by. Much love, fam. Welcome to the fam, man. Thank you, sir, being here. Yeah, I did look at this moron here. What's up, big? Thank you, Belly. Much love, man. Brother Joe's about to see you. Barrett says, Q, you could play the clip of Coach Moore giving his team. Yeah, well, Coach Moore, yeah. I played that, man, because I'm good at I always throw a little levity in there, man, because this is enough to make you go outside and start kicking people trash cans over and take a baseball bat to their mailboxes. But don't do that, okay? Refrain from that. Don't hit nobody mailbox with a bat. Just understand and know, man, that that's what I try to do. I try to bring a little levity into the situation, man, because that's what's called for, man. Every time we get in these situations, man, and it's shit like this. It's called for, man. We got to have a little levity every now and again, man. We got to. It's just what it is. But hold on, I'm gonna tune it up, man, for Coach Moore, man. So because this almost like it like I told my pops, it's almost like this never left, man, with Jim Moore, man.
Well, what happened was that second game we got our ass kicked. Or the second half, we just got our ass totally kicked. We couldn't do diddly poo offensively. We couldn't make a first down. We couldn't run the ball. We didn't try to run the ball. We couldn't complete a pass. We sucked. The second half, we sucked. We couldn't stop the run. Every time they got the ball, they went down and got points. We got our ass totally kicked in the second half. That's what it boiled down to. It was a horse performance in the second half. Horse. I'm totally embarrassed and totally ashamed. Coaching did a horrible job. The players did a horrible job. We got our ass kicked in that second half. It sucked. It stunk.
Oh man, yeah, Coach Moore. Shout out to Coach Moore, man. Yes, indeed, man. We got to bring some levity to this sad ass shit. With that, hey, listen, fam, with that, y'all hit the like button, man. Hit the subscribe button. I'm getting ready to leave. Listen, shout out to the almost 400 people that voted in the chat. Who's responsible for the Saints losing ways? It looked like Mickey Loomis won tonight, man. We're going to end the poll on that. The poll is finished, so shout out to y'all, man. Mickey Loomis won the poll. Who's responsible for the Saints losing ways? Mickey Loomis won 45% of the poll. Dennis Allen was 42%. Gill was 9%. The Saints players were 2%. So we had almost 400 people voted on the poll. Shout out to you guys for getting that in there. And family members say, hey, man, Q, it's Mickey Loomis. 45% says Mickey Loomis is the issue. So there you go. And I agree, man. Once you get rid of Dennis Allen, are you confident that this guy right here is going to right the ship? Look at this Mr. Potato Head, some bitch. Anyway, man, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. I'm gonna get out on that, man. Listen, I'll be back tomorrow for our Patreon and YouTube membership family, man. We'll be doing the all 22 on, oh my God, on the Saints and Chargers matchup. We'll cover all the latest news and notes of the broadcast on our Patreon special tomorrow. So if you want to join our Patreon, please feel free to go to patreon.com/the Pro Media Network. The link is in the chat for Patreon, or you can just hit the link tree. It's also in the description section below. That way you have access. If you go to Patreon, you have access to our news show that we do over there. We got a bunch of content on that over there, a lot of content that's on our Patreon stream. Our news shows over there. It's a lot of videos and stuff that I post too of real, like some of the real stuff going on, and the stuff is over there. A lot of good content over there on Patreon. Also, you can join a member of the YouTube page. That's would be there. Don't on cue stuff is not on that. On my on cue stuff is just for Patreon, but the Saint stuff is on our YouTube membership and Patreon. So if you understand that. Also, shout out to our sponsors, PRO Media Network. Sponsors, Mint Mobile. Man, listen, fam, if you want to save some money on your phone, check out Mint Mobile, man. I'm telling you, man, these rates are off the chain. I'm saving some good money with this phone. Let me tell you something. As high as things are right now, listen, I'm telling you, if I'm trying to give you a hint to save some money, check out Mint Mobile, man. The link is in the description section. Also, T. Henley for the brothers, skincare products to make you look good, better for the sisters, because they like that kind of stuff. Check out T. Henley. You get a discount between 20 and 40% off on the product. And Bet Online. Check out Bet Online. Like I always said, I've been saying now, is that if you can't make money with the Saints, then you make money on the Saints. You're like, Q, that's wrong. No, it ain't. They're making money off your ass. What you talking about? They win, lose, or draw. They're making money off you. Do they give you the money back when they lose? Do they give you half the money back when they lose? No. So give them that energy. Give them the same energy, baby. All right. So anyway, with that being said, I'm out, man. I'm going to see y'all on the next one. Much love. And who that tell you?
Yeah, boogie like Benson, I'm a who that. I'm a who that. Long as I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. Sports Coma, yeah, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Boogie like Benson, I'm a who that. I'm a who that. Sports Coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Somebody please better help. Running this thing like elf. I thank God every day I'm not a felt. Go to YouTube Live with Big Q and the guys. If you ain't ride or die, the bandwagon get flipped. Been marching in, that was way for the ring. I was yelling out your shame for the championship. Fucking on town, duck down. Falcons, pluck, get shut down. Panthers ain't much touchdown. The vision really belong to us now. So much hate on the Saints, you could probably tell. Ever since Bounty Gate hit the NFL, when things seem fishy, and you probably smell the crooked referees or Roger Goodell. Yeah, probably like this, and I'm a who that. Every day I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. It's the Sports Coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Boogie like Benson, I'm a who that. It's the Sports Coma, this is where we do that.
You're listening to the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys on the PRO Media Network.
Is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for everything sports betting. Every stat, matchup, breakdown, even live odds and spreads to bet on during games. With the largest catalog of odds on everything from football, MLB playoffs, NHL, NBA to political props. When the game's over, head on over to our online casino and get in on a game of blackjack or poker or unwind with over 150 slot games. Head to the website today to get on the action with America's most trusted site for online wagering. Bet Online. The game starts here.
whothatdaily.com. That's right, the whothatdaily.com. Your one-stop shop for everything New Orleans Saints, New Orleans Pelicans, LSU Tigers, even the top flight boxing news. So if you're a Who Dat and you're looking for a place to stay up on your team, whothatdaily.com is your site. The whothatdaily.com for the sport Who Dat in all of us. That's right, the Pro Shop is the platform store where you can go and buy all the latest merch to support the platform. Available at the Pro Shops, we have dozens of hundreds of products available for you and your family. Unisex tees for men and women, hoodies and sweatshirts, tank tops, kids and baby items, long sleeve tees, mugs, pillows, wall art, bath bedding, face masks, phone cases, stickers, bags, fanny packs, socks, hats, and many other items. Please feel free to check out the Pro Shops. The link is in the description section below. And remember, it helps the platform continue to grow. Check out the Pro Shop and Who Dat too.